Alright, howdy everyone, welcome to the Hivemind July recap.
For the audio listeners, if you didn't know, we live stream this.
Yeah, well now they know.
Yeah, we're 14 minutes late.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty good.
That's on us. That's on all of us.
Yeah.
Well, if by all of us you mean you, then yeah. Justin, it's,
I'm sorry, when the call started, SIG, today at 6:07 p.m., I'll be in a sec.
Yeah. Are we pulling up this?
Yeah.
Let's just go up a little bit further.
Yeah.
Let's see. Earliest I can do is 5. And then 4:58, gonna grab food after work. I'll hop in closer to the time.
Yeah.
Man, oh wait, 5:57, be ready. 5:57, be ready in 10. You know what 5:57 plus 10 minutes is? Not 6 p.m., so I don't know.
I keep forgetting that after these podcasts, we have to go to, like, some couples therapy, and we've not done that.
That's right. Yeah, think about all those viewers who are anxiously awaiting the 6 p.m. time start, and how you just kind of let them down. It's kind of upsetting.
Speaking of that, we usually record these Friday nights. We're doing this on a Thursday because this is no ordinary weekend that we're approaching.
I mean, I think it's just a good idea in general, so we don't, like, miss our most recent listenings with what happened the last month.
You bring up
because we've done that before, and I think it's just better for us to talk about that then.
Yeah.
And then
I think the fact that there's 3 albums coming out in about 6 hours just like made that decision more obvious.
Yeah, and I think it's probably something to go forward.
Yeah,
like just have.
So for those of you that want to hear the show live in the future, Thursdays at
sometime here,
maybe right here on twitch.tv/TobyCon.
Exactly. With 2 N's.
The best place to be.
Twitch.tv/TOBYCONN. That is twitch.tv/TOBYCONN.
Holy shit, the audio podcast is going to have a meltdown. Just follow at...
Jake will put it in the description.
Yeah, just follow
This is not Jake's responsibility. We're absolving ourselves.
While we're at it, I was talking to my sisters about this podcast a couple days ago, and they brought up the idea of making a Twitter account for this show.
Yeah? Don't you already have an Instagram for it?
There is an Instagram.
Yeah. We got an Instagram. We may as well have a Twitter.
Memes.
Oh, man. Effort.
There may be a Twitter account coming in the future. There may be a Twitter account coming in the future. But more importantly, we are finally on Spotify.
Let's go!
Thank God.
The show is finally... It's on Spotify, it's on Anchor, it's on a couple other miscellaneous podcasts.
Yeah, you need to give me the link for that.
Because Anchor just distributes it automatically at the click of a button. So I put in no effort, and I get praised anyway.
Yeah,
that sounds praise.
I mean,
I
got ridiculed for about 3 months before I got...
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to praise you for finally putting in the bare minimum effort after 3 months, but, never mind all the editing that you do. No. Not important.
So, if you want to... I feel like most of the audience at this point is on YouTube. So, if you want to listen on Spotify, we're on Spotify at Hivemind Radio Recap. So, feel free to follow there. And on Anchor if you use Anchor. Without further ado, I think we can start getting into talking about music, unless you guys have any other introductory stuff you want to mention.
Alright, I got a thing.
Not that I could. Oh, I had coronavirus this past month. That was fun. Yeah. Wait, were you not around for that?
No.
Oh yeah, no. I got the Rona. My parents went bar hopping on vacation, and I got the Rona like 3-4 days later.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was real bad.
Did you listen to Corona Eviscerated?
Oh, of course. I had to. That's like this entire quarantine theme song. I had to keep that on loop.
How about Rona 19? How about that one?
Oh, by Landon Tours? Unfortunately, no. There was no playing of that song. I didn't even think of that. I should have. That one's more iconic, honestly.
I still think it's really funny. When was that song released? Was that April or was that March?
I think it was early April.
Because I thought that was the Linden Tour song we were going to talk about, not the
No, Say It Ain't So was the one there.
Yeah.
I remember you put that in the playlist, and I was like, I mean, I guess.
All right, shall we get started? Y'all ready to talk about a shit ton of singles? Because once again,
Oh dear God, there's so many.
That's basically all July gave us at this point. Where June and July really did not give too much in terms of albums. In all honesty,
no, they were very single heavy.
We got more this month than we did in June, but definitely more single heavy.
Yeah.
For a count, we have 35 singles.
34. I removed one like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, that's right. You did remove one.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have 34 singles. We have, I believe it's an EP.
And 2 albums.
And 2 albums, yeah.
That's what's on the notebook for today, fellas.
Will Crossfaith lose their throne?
Very true.
I'm inclined they even had it to begin with.
They had it by default, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's
even a
true.
throne at that point.
No, they were just the only one on the list.
Exactly.
All right, let's get started. Blind Channel released a new song at the start of the month, Left Outside Alone.
I don't wonder if you know how it really feels to be left outside alone. Let's go out here.
Yep, this is a cover, I believe. I can't remember the original artist.
Yeah. It's definitely a cover. I remember listening to it when it came out, and I listened to the cover I wish I knew how to speak words. Man.
You can do it. I believe in you.
We're 6 minutes in and I'm already having stroke.
Yeah, so the original artist is Anastasia.
Thank you for doing your research that I did not.
Yeah, I didn't hear the original, but this is pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it's like much better than like half of the last album they put out.
More than half, in all honesty. Like
than half, yeah. Because a lot of it was like singles they had put out over like the course of a couple of months and just remixed remastered a little bit. But
the singles were really the only highlights from that album, anyway.
Yeah, most of the singles, not like the ones they had like months before they compiled it into an album.
Yeah.
Dang. I was like, oh, I need to listen to this band, and now you guys are like shitting on them.
So Blind Channel are a very polarizing band. They have such high peaks, and then they just produce some very average songs.
Yeah, they did the thing where, like, Solons does, where they released a bunch of singles at once, and then compiled it into an album for their most recent album.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
There are only 3 new tracks on the last album.
I believe there was 5, unless I'm getting it wrong.
There were 3, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me take a look real quick. But
all I remember there, it was like Over My Dead Body, Time Bomb, Snakes. Died Enough for You and Fever. I think it was just those 5.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, but the rest, like, were kind of forgettable.
Yes.
Yeah, like the new stuff, and this kind of puts a bit more faith back into what these guys can actually do.
For every average song that Blind Channel will put out, they will eventually deliver in some form.
Their second album, Blood Brothers, is still their best.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, by far.
But let's back to this single. This is just a really good song.
Yeah.
Similar to you, I don't think I had very many expectations for this based off of their last album, but they knocked this one out of the park. Highly recommend.
Blind Channel is going to be one of those bands. They put something out, I'm still going to listen to it, even if I don't like it. As much as their older stuff, I'm still going to have it in rotation for like a month or so.
You can really tell which 2 of us have prior experience of this band and which 2 don't. Because I didn't know this was a cover. I have absolutely nothing to add. I was very indifferent on this song. I don't know. The breakdown felt like a slight variation of the same riff that had been introduced at the start and throughout the song, and I wasn't super impressed with it, but I didn't realize it was a cover. So now I have to go back post episode and listen to the original and then listen to the cover and make my judgment from there, because I did not have prior knowledge.
Yeah, it is a cover. So, with that in mind, the instrumentals kind of lean more onto the originals.
Well, I'm gonna throw the playlist on. Does anybody else have anything to add on this?
Not really.
So I'm gonna transition here. I'm taking your role here, Jake, into the other cover that we had this week, which was Iris by Breaking Benjamin.
Yep.
Okay.
And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand.
So I didn't think this was better than the original, and I don't think that any cover of the song that has ever been made is better than the original, because the original is just so iconic. That said, I do think that this is one of the better covers I've heard, and I'd be very interested to see how you guys felt about it.
I cannot recall the original to this song.
Really?
No. I knew this was a cover. I knew that Iris was a cover song, but I cannot recall what the original was, even though it's supposedly a pretty damn popular song.
I mean, yeah, well, it's got 612 million on Spotify.
Yeah, that's popular. Just a bit.
And I didn't even know it was a cover.
Oh,
So I'm even worse than Jake.
The original song is Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, for anybody who's interested. I think it's about the only song of theirs that's ever gotten any real traction that everybody, or I shouldn't say everybody because you didn't know it was a cover, but that everybody quote unquote knows. It's one of the more iconic songs of the that late 90s, early mid 2000s era. In the same vein of something I don't know, the closest things I can think of, and they're not at all similar songs, would be something like How You Remind Me by Nickelback, and then Country Roads, Take Me Home by John Denver. That it's one of those more universally recognized songs. And so it's very bold to put out a cover of something that's so well recognized. But I think they did it well. I just wasn't as super impressed with this cover over the original as I was with some other covers that have been released in the past.
I'm still gonna say on the topic of covers that one of the best covers that ever released, probably in the last maybe year or two, is the Cranberries cover that Bad Wolves did, where they tried to get
very good.
They tried to get the original singer, but she passed away while they were going to record it. And that song did it very much justice. I need to go back and listen to that after this.
I think the only thing I want to add to Iris is that I definitely enjoyed the fact that it's a cover and enjoyed the song, but I didn't find that much replay value out of it. It's a good song, but there's not much that wants me coming back to it.
Yeah, oh god, I'm fucking dying.
It's back. It's wave 2.
Oh, no.
That second wave is here, fellas.
Speaking of a second wave, California's Burning by Hot Milk.
Oh god, I hate it. Yeah, it's certainly something. Oh god, hold on. Go ahead.
So, Hot Milk, our band, I have been waiting to talk about on this podcast for a long time. They are definitely one of the shining stars of this year for me that came out of nowhere and have blown me away. And this song did exactly that for me. It sounds nothing like anything they've ever written before, but it's so good. I love it personally. It's a lot darker and a lot heavier than their normal pop punk esque sound. They did some rap vocals at the start with not necessarily rap, more rap hip hop influenced vocals for the first verse, and that just came out of nowhere. But it works so well. I love this. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely missed everything you said, so sorry, but I was busy trying not to die.
Yeah.
But this is the heaviest song of theirs that I can think of
By far.
off the top of my head.
Far.
Yeah. They're I caught the tail end of what you were mentioning. The rap part that she does really caught me off guard. There are a lot of different vocal deliveries, I guess, that stray kind of from what I came to expect from this band.
Definitely.
And I think it works really well. I think this is also the most political they've ever gotten.
Oh, definitely. You don't just open a song with semi-automatic on the candy floor, or semi-automatic in the candy store. Like
this read like a grandson song to me.
Yes.
Like this is not at all something I would have expected from this band. There was a part in this song where it might have been in the bridge, I don't know, but the male vocalist sounded like the singer from In Heart's Wake. Like in the clean vocal delivery, and it was like I was not at all expecting it. I don't know, the variation in vocal deliveries within this song is certainly something I didn't come to expect.
That's a very strange correlation between the vocalists of Hot Milk and In Heart's Wake. I did not expect
I might be losing my damn mind.
I see it though. I totally see it. I'll
part after this, but also Justin, internet gone.
Yeah.
Because tropical storm, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, my dad's house lost internet. In fact, quick tangent here. A tree fell down and shattered a window in my room.
Oh, good.
At my dad's house. I'm at my mom's house now where everything was fine. But, yeah, I have a broken window, so that's fine.
Oh, this one does.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's... Oh, goodbye. There's been a lot of that, like, around here recently. Like, I wouldn't think that this far inland we would have gotten as many, like, thunderstorms or rain as we did, but we've been feeling the effects of this in different waves. It's been interesting. Yeah, welcome back, brother.
Yeah, I'm just on hotspot for this.
Okay.
It looks like the hurricane's coming through. Knocked out my internet. So.
Yeah, well, Discord doesn't take up too much hotspot-wise. You should be okay.
Nah, I haven't touched my hotspot this month either, so we're good.
I mean, we're also 6 days into the month.
Yeah, that's
fair.
Fair. Doesn't go out, you know. Oh, you better have. Well, I guess it won't matter. I was gonna say you better have power back for all the albums tonight.
Hey, I'll figure it out.
Make it happen.
Drive to your local McDonald's.
Yeah, bang on your neighbor's door and be like, "Look, bro, Slaves album coming out. Wi-Fi password now."
See, the problem is all my neighbors are military, so they probably shoot me.
Yeah, well, you can just sit like outside their house in the rain, listen to Slaves. I'm sure it'll be fine. There's worse options.
You got noise canceling headphones?
Yeah. See.
Let's get back to this Hot Milk song. I don't think there's too much more to add to it, but I just want to reiterate that like this sounds nothing like they've ever written before.
Nah.
And this just like the amount of possibilities for anything this band can release in the future, like you just never know what this band is going to come up with next. Like you compare this to Are You Feeling Alive or Wide Awake, and it's just drastically
polar opposites.
Drastically different. This band has a very bright future. Let's move on. We got a triple stack coming at you. Noija just went off and released 3 new songs this month. Let's start with the first one, Crawl Into My Skin.
So tell me why I can't get out of it.
Yeah, so they were silent for a while after they released Rebirth, like at the start of last year. And they're just now releasing these next couple singles. They have one coming out tomorrow as of filming this, so August 7th. And then they have an album coming out on the 28th. So they're making up for lost time by releasing 3 singles. Crawl Into My Skin is probably my favorite.
I would say it's my second
But it's
favorite.
between this and Runaway. Runaway, it depends on the day for me.
This was actually my least favorite.
Oh, really?
I gotta say, yeah. I mean, I didn't think any of these singles were like bad or anything like that. Like, I all of them were at the very least good. But Crawl Into My Skin was definitely my least favorite. Am I allowed to talk about the other 2, or are we saving them for like individual segments?
We might as well just hit 3 at the same time.
Sure. Okay. So Broken Glass was my favorite.
Okay.
Runaway was mine.
Oh, good. See, look at us go.
Look at us not being the hive mind we advertise.
The electronic elements in Broken Glass reminded me kind of By Your Side by Awaken I Am.
Okay. Yeah,
some of the delivery there too. And then there was a part in the bridge where the effect on his voice reminded me of Brian Burkheiser from I Prevail. Yeah. That might be another parallel that I'm just pulling out of my ass like hot milk, but like the band, I'm not pulling like warm milk out of my ass. I figured I should clarify.
Fact you had to clarify, Lise.
Yeah. Look, okay, there might be some caring listeners out there waiting to put me into therapy, so I gotta make that distinction up front.
Can we clip that and just get it out of context?
Oh God, but I like I said, I don't think that any of these were like necessarily a bad song at all. I just enjoyed Broken Glass rather the most, followed by Runaway and then Crawl Into My Skin. But this band went from something that wasn't on my radar at all to something that I'm suddenly very excited for the future. Do we know if we're getting like an EP or an album? Or
it's a full 13-track. 13-track album. They have the last single they're releasing for it coming tonight.
And the album is August 28th.
Yeah, 28th.
Yeah.
So
add another album to
for the next
Dude,
show.
August is hella stacked. It's 3 albums every week.
Yeah, it's stupid. We're gonna have a rough time. Bring all that shit.
Who's ready for the 6-hour podcast?
Fuck that.
No. we might have to do August Part 1, August Part 2.
Maybe. Yeah.
And then August burns red.
Okay. That's it.
All right,
Places
so Jacob,
we did not have to go. There.
Yeah, Jacob, all right, hit us with the knowledge on Runaway here real quick. Tell me why it's your favorite.
It sounded good.
Okay, good.
Wait, can I explain why I think Runaway is my favorite?
Okay, sure. Hit us with it.
Well, it sounded pretty good. No, but for real though.
I don't know what else to
Me out.
For real though, I think Runaway is definitely my favorite of them. In particular, I love the closing to the song where it has like kind of the orchestral feel to it. With the underlying vocals. I fucking love it. Broken Glass, I'm gonna go in backwards order here. Broken Glass was extremely underwhelming for me. I hit the chorus and I was like, okay. Next. And then Crawl Into My Skin, I actually think is a pretty decent song. I am not particularly a fan of their unclean vocals for like the one verse in there, but that might just be I haven't listened to the song more than 3 times and I need some time to adjust to it.
See, that's the problem, because those are the tracks that are my favorite that Noija does. Like Rebirth has that, Wanderer from their I think it's their first album. Wanderer from the first album, and Crawl Into My Skin. The reason it's probably my favorite, it switches between that and Runaway for me, is because of that uncleans and then transition back into the cleans, and just kind of the instrumentals are probably my favorite in that track. But same as you, Jake, that end part in Runaway with where it kind of gets that orchestral kind of choiry on the last verse, that's probably what sells them. Broken Glass, I've not listened to that as much because that kind of came out around the same time I was getting ready to start my new job. So that in particular, I've just not been too heavily busy on listening to. When I listened to it a couple times, like the chorus just kind of felt repeating almost. Not to the sense of like the Hands Like Houses, Head Rush, or something like that, but it just seemed like it didn't pick up at all where it felt like it could have.
It's definitely fair.
All right, I think we've said enough on these 3 songs by Noija. We've all got very differing opinions on them, so give them all a shot if any of them sounded decent. So let's move on. Crystal Lake released 2 new songs. Let's talk about Watch Me Burn first.
Leave my name behind. Maybe one day you will feel
August Burns Red.
Yeah, it kind of does. I could get behind that. I had a very similar like opinion on both of these songs in the sense that Jake, you know how when you listen to like an Amaranth song, you can say like, oh, yep, that's an Amaranth song.
Yeah.
That's really how I felt about these two. Yeah, because I attribute Crystal Lake to being very in your face heavy with electronic breaks, not in the same way as like a Bring Me the Horizon electronic break where it leads into something all the time, but in the sense that it provides depth and layering to the song. And I felt that was somewhat present in both, especially in Disobey. And so I was like, yep, these are two new Crystal Lake tracks. I don't feel that I've heard anything necessarily new, even though these are new tracks, like new in concept, but I still enjoyed them a lot.
What about the breakdown in Disobey, though?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. I very much enjoy that song, but it doesn't feel like they've changed. They haven't broken the mold or changed the formula all that much with these two songs. I didn't feel like. But that's just me.
So,
I could be wrong.
Hey, I don't have very much experience with Crystal Lake. Like, I think the most experience I have with them is I've listened to Apollo like twice. And, and then the Rio feature on that one Cold Rain song from last year. And that's about all I know about Crystal Lake. So, going into these two tracks, I wasn't expecting too much because unfortunately, to Jacob's dismay, I didn't love Apollo very much. But Watch Me Burn is probably the best thing I've heard from them. Albeit, the only competition is like 3 other songs. But I enjoyed Watch Me Burn. Just solid. I haven't listened to the song enough to say like too much more about it, but I enjoyed it. Disobey. I think Disobey is more so what I expect when I go into a Crystal Lake song. Just brutally heavy. And it was a little too much for me to handle, unfortunately.
That's understandable. I'm interested to see about what you think about another song later on then, if this one was...
That song starts... Go ahead.
I think you can predict my reaction.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jacob.
Disobey starts and it's like this electronic thing, and all of a sudden you're hit with a truck. It's
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about some other songs on here too, particularly one that we'll get to eventually. But yeah, Justin, do you have any thoughts on this?
No, Crystal Lake is just kind of the band I can't really get into. I listened to these both kind of once, and I just can't really form a good opinion on them.
That's fair. Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I insist. No, you. Hey.
Fine.
Thank you.
Stop fighting!
My mom, Dad, stop!
I don't know where I saw this, but I remember seeing like the tempo of Disobey, and it gradually gets slower and slower and slower.
Yeah.
The breakdown is so slow. It's so weird.
I need concerts again to see the pit to that.
Dude.
That Fit for a King tour rescheduled. Oh, but they don't have Crystal Lake on it. Oh,
No,
my date was still up. I was hoping that it would get rescheduled.
There's time for it to get rescheduled again.
That's true.
But Crystal Lake wasn't on the reschedule.
Yeah,
There's time for it to get rescheduled again with Crystal Lake.
Yeah, I would hope that they would, because if they did, and I could see this song, if I could see Disobey live, the pit on that song, oh.
Crystal Lake is probably my favorite live band, I'm gonna say.
That is completely and utterly understandable. I've never seen them live, but I've seen videos, and it looks awesome. You know, we're already like there, so I'm gonna go ahead and transition into God of Fire. by Fit for a King featuring Ryo Kinoshita of Crystal Lake.
Holy shit, my OCD.
We're kind of just jumping around today.
I'm really sorry, but we mentioned the Fit for a King tour. It was there. I figured we'll roll with it.
Yeah.
And by we, I mean I'll make you roll with it. So,
I'll remember this.
Yeah, Jake will organize the playlist.
Yeah, it's
I'll
fine. Jake,
reorganize the
get on it. Get on it right now.
Right now?
I want to see it change.
All right.
God.
There you
You
go.
don't want to hear your opinion. Oh, there you go.
I need to replace Iris as well. I haven't done that yet.
Bring it up. Bring it up.
There you go. It's been
Thank
done.
you. No, I actually wasn't Iris before California's burning.
You're right.
Yeah, I know I am. It's okay.
Thank you. This is why I need you guys. Fit for a King. Gotta fire.
No. Hey, I love this so much. The riff is like repeated so many times to the point where I could understand if people were upset with it because like there's not a lot of variation, but I could listen to that riff every day for the rest of my life and not get tired of it. I love this song. I cannot for the life of me pick out the Rio feature. I've tried.
It's the second
I've really
verse.
tried.
It's the second verse.
I thought it was in the breakdown, so I am so far off
It
base.
took me a couple listens to find it too, but it's the second
This
verse.
is my most, probably my most anticipated song of the year.
Yeah.
Like I saw the shitty live video, and I was like, "This is already amazing."
Yeah.
And then it comes out, and it's like, "Oh my god!"
I would kill to have that opening bit, the first God of Fire, and be in the crowd when that hits. Oh my goodness.
I'm not much of a mosher, but that would be fucking dope.
Dude, everybody wear a mask. I want concerts back ASAP.
Please.
Honestly, I do. I love this song. It doesn't feel, I mean, it's not particularly long, but it doesn't feel its length. I don't feel like every time I listen to this, it feels like it's in and out, and I love it.
I think it's because the intro, it has like a very long
That's
intro
true,
and
yeah.
outro.
Yeah. This song this is just some good ass metalcore. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what Fit for a King does.
Yeah.
All they put out is good ass metalcore.
I haven't listened to any previous album of theirs, so I only have this and Breaking the Mirror to go off of for them. I'll get to their previous albums probably next year at some point based on my track record. But good ass metalcore. That's what this is.
Yeah. I highly recommend Dark Skies, their previous album. I did pre-order their upcoming album on vinyl, and I'm pretty sure it's coming out in September or October.
September.
I think is the tentative plan. Okay, yeah.
For whatever
Something else to
reason,
look out for.
I'm pretty sure that Fit for a King and Future Palace are releasing albums on the same day, so I'm kind of looking forward to that.
It's kind of opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Also, the next single being released by them is supposed to be their most radio friendly.
Okay.
I think it might be tonight. I'm not even sure, but
More so than Breaking the Mirror?
oh yeah, it's supposed to be the most radio friendly song.
Damn. Okay. Did they say that up front, or is that like community review?
I think it was taken from Ryan Kirby's Twitch.
Okay. Well, if he's acknowledging it up front, then I feel like people can't get mad at it. Like, because you've got the Asking Alexandria wage war route where it's like, yeah, this is the heaviest material we've ever written, and then it's not. So the fact that they're very upfront about, hey, we're writing this for Octane.
Yeah, I think it's coming out
I feel like that
on
makes
Octane,
it better.
actually. I think it's coming out on Octane.
Yeah, if I have that expectation going into a song, then I feel like I'm less disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least I know that they meant to do it that way instead of getting the expectation of, oh, this is going to be heavy, and then it's the violence. So
I'm pretty sure it comes out soon though, like either tonight or maybe next week.
I'm gonna hop on Twitter real quick and see if I can investigate.
I think the last point I want to make on this song is a couple of days ago I was talking with one of my IRL pals who he listens to this and like give me some feedback and stuff, even though he doesn't care for the music at all.
Yeah.
But he just likes to hear people discuss like opinions and such.
Yeah.
So I showed him this song in particular, and
Good choice.
and the one thing I remember is that he pointed out that right before it says God of Fire, I think the opening line is like, step into the dark of eternity. And
Yeah.
the fact that the word "of" was there pissed him off so much. He was like, why not just do Dark Eternity? Because, like, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, wait, that actually just works. Like, step into the dark of eternity.
It doesn't flow as well, though. I feel like I'm trying to sing it to
The
myself.
flow works, but then you could do step into the dark eternity. And it kind of works. So that...
Yeah. I guess
That's all I want to bring up.
all the other,
I think
like,
it's a syllable thing.
yes, all the other syllables there are, like, very short and punchy, so to have one drag out, I don't know how well that would work.
Yeah.
I mean, it would work, I just don't... It's very hard once I've listened to a song so many times and, like, ingrained what I feel like it should be like in my head for me to view it a different way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like hearing that, and that'll be interesting to see tonight, too, that MP3 of Heavier that I got.
Ah, right, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if it sounds like that on the album,
Yep.
but I have a feeling that I'll like it all the same.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a a little bit of a tangent.
I think we're ready to move on.
Yes.
Citizen Soldier released a new single once again, Mess of Me.
See me drowning, drifting away. They'll never understand why I just.
So, have these guys put out a single like once a month at the least for the past
Yes.
couple of months?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna continue because they're doing the thing where it provides more more content for not only like Spotify but also the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And if you watch
That's fair.
if you watch the music videos, it has the click the bell and subscribe or
Mm-hmm.
anything. So it looks like they're trying to integrate that with the release schedule. So we're probably gonna get another. Well, we already
We already
got
did
the
get the
one
next
for
one.
this month.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna get another one for next month.
Well, I mean,
as well.
it's very smart on their part, though, to do that. I mean, especially when you're trying to build up a following, to keep your name in people's mouths like that. Like, I mean, it's working for us.
Yeah,
Although,
it's also
everyone's doing the same. We keep shitting on them. So,
well, it's also that, and I feel their singles are different enough to where they can afford to do that
Mhm.
because there's definitely like a different feel for each single they've released.
I feel like this one is, like, probably the most similar to, like, Hope It Haunts You. I get very similar vibes from them, but they definitely have
Yeah.
enough variety to where, like, doing it monthly isn't necessarily the worst thing.
Right? It's not like Solence where I don't know. We're gonna comment them again later, but
Mhm.
God,
I don't have too much to say on this one. It's just a solid song.
So this is actually my favorite of the singles that they've put out, including the one that came out this month. Having listened to that now, I haven't been super impressed with anything. I had Sacred in rotation for a little bit when it first came out. Would anyone care? I remember not particularly caring for. So the answer is no.
Yeah,
Nobody would care.
That's fine. I didn't either.
Yeah, Hope It Haunts You was whatever for me. I like Gunshot Lullabies, but Mess of Me is I ever since you let me know that this song came out, I've been unable to take it out of my rotation. I'll go out of my way to listen to it a lot. I very much enjoy this, and if theoretically the rest of the album were to be 6 more tracks that sounded exactly like Mess of Me, I would be very, very happy. Do we know when this album's coming out?
It should release by the end of the year. Let me double check and
Okay.
see how many
Because
singles.
I've checked their Twitter page, and the album, I believe, is 10 songs.
It is 10 songs, and
and
they've
if-
released 5 so
if
far.
5 of them
So we
have
have another
released-
5.
Okay.
It's gotta be soon, right?
Yeah, you'd think so.
Unless they
Yeah.
release 9 of them before the album, which would be
So
an
on
interesting maneuver.
on the topic of release dates, I found an interesting bit of information while looking for the Fit for a King single information, which does come out by the way tonight. So that's another thing to look forward to.
Alright.
Jesus
Bill-
Christ, we're not sleeping tonight.
No. Bill Murray, on his next album, Eggy Pocket, scheduled for this November, has a song featuring both Rory Rodriguez of Dayseeker and John Metz from Dance Gavin Dance.
Excuse me?
What to do with that information? It's tracked and recorded and ready to go. I think the album's in its mixing stages. So
God, I need this in
this
my
dude-
life.
Bill Murray's a saint. He throws in so many features from people that we all know and love. I mean, it's God bless this man. I'm so interested to hear what that dynamic is going to sound like.
That's gonna be.
Now we need like Rio and Tillian.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'd love that. That's an interesting idea for like a concept album. Like if you were to just take like clean and unclean singers from different bands and just throw them together and see how it meshed. I feel like that would be very interesting.
And do like half an album with one like band's instrumentals and the other band's vocals, and then switch it up.
I want Tyler Carter from Issues with a Tom Barber from Chelsea Grin.
Oh my god!
I want to see how that turns out.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Alright,
Michael Bond could never.
I think we've said enough about this Citizen Science. I think we're ready to
Anything
move
else
on.
on top of what
I think we're ready to
Sig
move on.
said? What Sig said was basically my opinion.
The
It's
stuff
the
that we're
best
talking about is stuff of Dystopia, which is the title of In Heart's Wake's new track.
Oh, that was good.
Thanks.
Mm.
Thank you. I try. Was it as
Do
good as
you?
my California's Burning transition?
Yeah, that was. We're not going to speak of that one. I'm just going to leave it alone. Speaking of leaving it alone, I haven't played this track in a couple of weeks.
Me either.
I did for a while when it first came out, but ever since then, I don't know. It feels. I was very happy with it on the first listen, and the more I listened to it, the more I felt something was missing that I couldn't put my
Yes.
finger on.
That is
I got a
exactly
hot
what
take.
I think.
I got a hot take.
Okay, hit me with it.
It's worse than Worldwide Suicide.
Oh,
No,
I don't know if I
that's
go
not
that far.
That's not bad.
And even then, like, I don't think Worldwide Suicide is objectively bad or anything like that, but it's probably my least favorite single. I think Hellbringer is probably my favorite. They put out another one yesterday that I was just completely unaware of.
I haven't listened to that yet.
See,
I
I
was
don't
waiting
get
for
this
the album tonight.
because we're this is kind of related, but not really. Stand Atlantic also put out a single yesterday, so I don't understand the idea of releasing a single 2 days before the album release.
I have avoided
Like-
listening to both of them at this point.
Okay,
Like-
did it release with a music video?
Yes.
Then
Well, I don't know if In Heart's Wake did. Stand Atlantic did. So
Then it's okay.
yeah, I guess if that's the case. But I saw that and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like we're 2 days away from the album, but
Yeah.
I suppose if that's what they want to make like as single status, I don't
Just
know what
release
this
it on
album's going to
album
sound
day.
like.
You could just
this-
release it on album day at that point.
Yeah,
Or close
yeah.
enough.
This In Heart's Wake album apparently has gotten very mixed reviews, and people have said that it's all over the place.
Okay.
So we might be getting something like softer songs that aren't quite in the vein of Dystopia. Might be getting only cleans, which would be fine with me because my favorite In Heart's Wake song is Arrow, which has no uncleans. I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting. Yes, I know Earthwalker. I understand. But yeah, no, I don't know. This song wasn't bad by any means, but it was lacking something that I still can't put my finger on.
I'm exactly the same. Okay, Hivemind, group consensus, nice.
Yes,
What does
missing
Cole
something.
think?
We've redeemed ourselves.
What
Yeah,
does
Justin?
Justin think?
Is he gone?
No,
He has
Oh.
no opinion.
I
No
have
opinion?
no opinion. No.
Oh, good. All right. Let's move on then. Solid, baby, with snakes.
The streets are flooded with snakes.
Oh, God.
All right, you want to hear
We
my
have
notes for this song?
spent the last 4 months downplaying this band and their music.
Yes. Yes. Don't transition the way I think you're going to. Don't do it.
I'm gonna let you guys keep it going.
This is what
Do
I
it.
wrote. This is what I wrote.
Okay.
I will never get back the 3 minutes I wasted listening to this song.
Yep. I feel like I'm wasting my youth, to put it in a relevant manner. This feels like the same song I've heard for the past 4 months.
Yeah.
We're starting with the voice clip into a break with fast-paced drums and a basic riff. The mixing feels off-kilter. The pre-breakdown is some like cringeworthy voice clip, and then the breakdown kind of sucks. I will say that there was a guitar solo in the breakdown that I did actively enjoy very, very much.
The
But I
breakdown
don't
is the
think
best part of this song.
Yeah, and even then, I don't think it could redeem it. The chorus felt like it had potential, but it lacked the proper punch it needed to be delivered well. And overall, I just wasn't at all impressed with this song. I heard it.
General,
I was done.
That's just one of the biggest flaws with most of these recent solo end songs. The chorus just...
Which I don't understand, because the chorus in the previous album felt, for the
is-
most part, very big
Yeah,
and
exactly.
like they had weight to them. These just, it all feels bland.
It's the tone shift. I think that's the problem here. Is the tone shift that they're wanting to go for is not good.
No. And I mean, we touched on it last month, but the YouTube algorithm has been very kind to them, and these singles are gaining traction, so good on them, but it's just not my cup of tea.
No.
As probably the one who hasn't, like... I'm not saying that I actively love all of these, but I haven't hated them as much, like, to the same degree as you guys have.
Right.
I think they've all just been, like, slightly average.
Yeah.
Most part. Maybe I think Paralyzed and Blackout were a little above average, but like even that, I don't think they're terrible songs. It's just like when you mentioned earlier, like when you hear an Amaranth song, you know what you're expecting. Like it has that Amaranth sound. I think like at this point, all of these Solent songs just have the Solent sound at this point.
Yeah, I could have told you what this song was going to sound like and what the structure would be before I even clicked play. Which is not... It wouldn't be a bad thing if that formula was working every single time, but I just don't think that it is. At least not for me. Obviously, it's working for them, but...
It's just more of the same from this band. And
yeah, honestly.
If you've liked it, then good on you. Because you're going to be getting more of the same. But for those of us that mostly missed their debut album and the more powerful sound that one delivered... We're still waiting in the shadows for more of that.
Here's the thing as well. They're already producing the next album.
Yeah, that's true.
They're already recording that. So we'll see how that goes.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
I think we've...
Yeah.
Sounds like a quality over... or quantity over quality.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that they've gotten enough response. I'm sorry, Jake. I kind of derailed you there. I'll be quick.
It's all good.
I think that bands in general, I understand they've got a lot of time on their hands right now. And if they've got the means to record it, then sure. But I feel like you should wait for a little bit more reception on the album as a whole before you produce your next album, just like as a rule of thumb. And the problem is that they've been getting positive reception on these tracks. So if they're producing their next album, chances are they're going to stick with what works. Yeah. And we're going to be getting more of the same like this. I hope I'm wrong, but I would put money down that I'm not. And that very much upsets me to know that I probably won't get another song like Empire of the Sun ever again.
Or Death Do Us Part, or Brothers.
Yeah.
Or Heaven. Or name like half of the tracks off that debut album.
That really was a good album.
Yeah. All right, I think we're ready to move on now. And It's Okay put out a new song, Like a Parasite. And It's Okay are kind of on a roll.
Yeah.
The new Unclean vocalist they brought in with STFU has given this band some new energy that has made me more excited for them than I ever have been.
Yeah, they're putting in fat work with this new vocalist. I didn't think that this was necessarily a better track than STFU, but I enjoyed it a lot. And I think that this band is on track to do great things. If they've got 2 singles out, are we looking at an EP or an album?
Probably an album.
Okay,
Probably an album.
Good.
I don't know if it's going to be this year, but...
Yeah, second single August would probably November, December release at the earliest.
Yeah.
Might be something like next January, February, which is fine.
Similar to you, I don't think this is as good as STFU. I rate STFU extremely highly. I love that song. But this song still grew on me a lot over the weeks. The more I go back to the song, the more I get into it. The guitars at the opening are so... It's like... I don't want to use the word filthy, but it's kind of filthy. It's just very...
Yeah, the instrumentation on this is nice.
Yeah. Very nice.
As a note, they at the time of releasing STFU, they did say that there was an album slated for this year, but with everything going on, I don't know if that's going to change.
Well, wasn't STFU in April or May?
STFU was April.
So that's in the middle of Rona season.
That's what the Wikipedia article says. So
I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Trust that with what you will. Trust that with what you will.
Best case we get one this year. Worst case it's next year. Who cares?
Like
We're still getting new music. It doesn't matter.
Pay attention to this band. They're doing good things.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that's about as it doesn't get much easier to talk about a good song than that. Let's move on. Crown the Empire. They put out an entire acoustic album, but we're focusing in on a bonus track entitled Everything Breaks.
Yeah, to lightly touch on the acoustic album, it's named 7/10/2010, which I don't know why they didn't do 2020, but it's basically a compilation of different tracks from all their past albums, just compiled into one acoustic version. Yep. And this is particularly the new one that was put onto it.
Yeah, the whole album was very good. I can't for the life of me. It's what? Andrew, right? Is the
Andrew, yep.
Yes. His voice is so good.
Yeah.
This track, I thought it was good. I was expecting it to break at some point, similar to like The Pact by Slaves. Towards the end, it felt like it had that build-up potential, but it never really exploded the way that I had hoped it would. But again, even though it didn't, this is still an amazing song. I thought the vocal delivery across the board was on point, and I was very happy with this for what it was. It was a very nice surprise.
Yep. I just want to point out the lyrics. The lyrics to this song are very good. It's like very, very personal lyrics, I think. I don't have them pulled up, so I can't say it, and I listened to it for the first time earlier today.
Yeah, let me run it back. Everything breaks. Jacob, hit me with your opinion on this in the meantime.
It is okay.
How did you feel?
I didn't think it was anything spectacular, but...
Did you get around to the entire album?
No.
Okay.
I just listened to the new stuff.
Yeah, it definitely fit the album. It makes a lot of sense to put it on that in regards to like putting out as a single. Yeah, I'm on the same boat. It didn't really it wasn't too spectacular, but I enjoyed it.
I don't have much to say. I don't really listen too much of Crown the Empire, so
you should.
You really should. The last album was really good.
Definitely a band that I need to get to at some point, but we all know my track record with that.
You think Jake would listen to Crown the Empire if Posty made it in?
Oh, yo, of course. I would listen to Crown the Empire if Posty made it in. Although, if we'd have gotten Post Malone as the lead singer for Crown the Empire, we wouldn't have gotten any of his solo material, probably. So, I would rather have Post Malone's solo material than Post Malone and Crown the Empire. I'm putting that out there. That's my hill, and I'm gonna die on it.
You know what? I'll join you on that hill.
What?
I will join you.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. I do. I love Post Malone. Entirely unrelated. Yo, fellas, are we talking about this new Post Malone song?
Jesus.
From May.
It's called Rockstar, right?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Post Malone tried out for Crown the Empire, didn't get in.
Now, was he going to be a vocalist or guitarist?
I'm not sure.
It was one of the two. But either way, that would have been a very interesting dynamic. He still hangs out with the band, which, yeah, he posts videos of them playing beer pong together in tour buses. So I wonder if we could get like a Post Malone feature on because I'm pretty sure Post Malone does Uncleans too. There's video out there somewhere. So that would be a very interesting dynamic to see on the next album if we could get a Post Malone feature. They could also potentially bring Crown the Empire into the mainstream because the Post Malone feature is elite. Yeah. You know, to get that's going to put your song far and above on popularity. But
think
I don't know,
that's enough
just
of
my
Crown
2
Gate there.
cents. Yeah, that's the most we can do on that one, I feel.
Let's move on. I think we got to get the show rolling. There's still a lot of singles to get to.
Yeah, oh dear God, I just scrolled. Oh boy.
My Diligent Future have put out another new single called Endlessly. And yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. It's not bad, but it doesn't really stick out to me in any way.
Yeah, the chorus had like potential to be catchy, and I enjoyed the electronic outro of it. I thought it was a very fitting end to the song, but overall the song just felt like average.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't liked anything from them since their new vocalist, but that's just me.
Yeah,
Not as
I'm in the same
or
boat.
anything. It's just the shift.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
To it yet.
I'm not very.
I think that this was the first time that they've reintroduced the unclean vocals since the new vocalist has joined in. Like it was for like maybe one line or something.
Yeah.
They're putting out consistently okay songs. I think
Mm-hmm.
they haven't knocked my socks off yet.
No.
But I'm gonna keep an eye on them. They're doing decent things.
And I mean, again, I think we commented on this in a prior episode, but the fact that if they can put out songs that are just okay, I feel like if they've got a new vocalist, that's fine because they're finding their groove. As long as in the next album or the album after that, they don't continue to put out just okay songs, but as they find their momentum and what works best for them, that they put out something that's a little more refined, polished, and something that I can enjoy, then I'm completely fine if the whole album, like this one's just okay, as long as they improve on future ones.
I would really like to see them lean into kind of the more electro structure with their songs.
Yeah.
I think I'll sweep When I'm Dead when they did like just your stereotypical electro song structure. I think that worked really well for them, like better than any of the other 3 singles they've released. So I'd be interested to see them keep pursuing that route. Either way, they're doing like the electro rock hybrid stuff, and I'm for it. But
yeah, it's very, in that sense, it's almost reminiscent of Versus Me, in the sense that they've got the potential for those electronic elements to be very prominent, but they only touch on it at times in a way that I feel like they should embrace a bit more.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think we're good to move on.
Let's carry on to the next single.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, let's go.
Before we do that, though, I'm going to switch internets real quick. I'll be back in like a few seconds, but you guys can go ahead and get started. I don't have much to say on this.
Sounds good. I cannot believe he interrupted my fucking transition. That was
on,
perfect.
Derek. Carry on. Now's your time to shine.
Let's go.
That was a quicker switch than I thought. I didn't even disconnect from Discord.
Oh, let's fucking go, dude. So, Carry On by Falling in Reverse. I'm curious.
Like this song more than I do. I really
I have yet to really enjoy a Falling in Reverse song. I'm gonna be honest. Everything is so borderline being good for me.
Meanwhile,
and I can
Popular
appreciate
Monster, Popular Monster is one of my most played songs of the year. So,
and I mean, it's been number 1 on the rock charts for like 8 months now. So, I mean, kudos to him for him. I mean, Ronnie Radke and the rest of the band, I guess, but they don't matter. To doing so well and putting out music that people enjoy. It's just everything they put out. And this is a B-side from their 2017 album.
Yes,
I think it came out. It's so close to being good, and it's not like I don't feel like anything is missing. It's just I don't really enjoy the delivery that Ronnie Radke has to present. The song feels like it kind of goes on just a little bit too long. I appreciated the guitar solo, but as a whole, this song didn't really do it for me. It kind of played almost like a Starset song to me, in a sense, with the delivery that was had, not necessarily instrumentally, but the delivery vocally. But I'd prefer Starset over this any day of the week.
yeah,
I really enjoyed the synths.
Yeah,
That is true.
that is.
I can agree.
In particular, what stood out to me was just like this song had a hella long fade out, but similar to the Noija song, the orchestral feel, the backing orchestral vocals, just that kind of sold me on this song more than anything for the first like 2.5 minutes. It was just like an okay song for me, and then you incorporated the backing vocals, and it took it to the next level for me, but still just not enough to get me to come back to it very much.
Yeah, it does give it a certain amount of atmosphere that I think really helps it, but
Definitely.
again, yeah, I don't know what's not clicking for me.
I definitely think, like, speaking on like the term atmosphere, the chorus involves like gravity. Pretty sure I don't know if that's like intentional.
That's why you thought a star set.
Probably.
It's
Subliminal
that-
space messaging was in there.
Well, it's that, and the album cover is literally an astronaut.
That's true.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So that'll do it.
Just like star set.
Yeah, let's go. Yo, yellow card lawsuit when.
I guess I'll add on to this. This is much better than what they recently released with like the Drugs EP. Like, I could not get into that.
I'll agree with you there. That's something I can concur with you on.
Yeah, and
I wasn't a huge fan of Drugs or Losing My Life or Losing My Mind, but Popular Monster hits different.
Popular Monster fucking mind my terminology popped off, and this is what I got them, because I got into Falling Rivers through 2017, their 2017 album. I was trying to remember the year. A couple songs off there really stood out to me, and this, with this being a B-side, I actually didn't know that until Derek said it. So yeah, it definitely makes 100% sense in why I like this. But Popular Monster, still the best
Popular
of
Monster
what they've released. Just because of the chorus. The chorus sells me on that.
The entire song sells me, in all honesty.
I can't
that's a sidetrack. That's a sidetrack.
Yeah, but you like rap and I don't.
All right, you want to move on? Or
Yeah, sure.
comments?
Yeah, we're gonna move on.
Point North have released a new song entitled Personal.
Even when I thought I knew you, just a waste of energy. So why you holding on to me like you need something to...
I should also mention this is another album that's coming out this month.
Yeah, we've
The
got
month
a
of
streak. We've got a streak of them coming up.
We're so fucked. We're so fucked.
Yeah.
But this is the best single since
Second best.
a million times.
Second best. Second best.
Since a million times.
No. Second best.
Wow.
Agree to disagree.
Okay. This is not my favorite single. I'm gonna put mine out there.
Yeah.
But I liked it better than Brand New Vision. I didn't care for Brand New Vision all that much.
I will agree with that. I did not care for it, really.
There was, I might be completely off base here, but I felt like it was simultaneously fine as it is, but also missing something, because the buildup at the end felt like it should have been somewhere maybe towards the middle and led to something.
Yeah, they just
feel
went
like-
heavier at the end of the song for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I feel like give this song like 30 more seconds. If it had 30 more seconds of time, it would have been better.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Do
agree.
something with it.
The end part, to me, I feel like this is the best one. But even to me, like that end part just feels like it, could have gone somewhere but didn't.
I
Yeah.
wonder if that ending is just like a transition into another track.
That would be pretty good. I'll have to look at the track list to see if that's actually how that works. Because I think they released the track list.
I really like this song. Second best behind Into the Dark, which was released at the beginning of this year, in my opinion. This album's looking pretty solid. I believe
It is.
this was like the 5th single. I don't think it's gonna make my top 10 end of the year, but it's gonna be a solid album, gonna be a solid listen, I feel.
Oh,
Yeah.
this goes into a million pieces on the album, actually.
Huh. It'd be interesting to go and listen to that. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it right now.
Go for it.
Point North, where are you at? Jacob, I'm curious to hear, did you have any opinions on this one?
I'm waiting for the next song.
You would.
Yep.
Oh my
I can't
god,
blame you.
I am so fucking stupid. Okay, so I've been going through my like playlist that I have of music to listen to, and I didn't realize this was an album. I thought that Personal like was the EP.
Oh.
And so I went ahead and like listened to it and rated it as an EP. I didn't make the connection until now. I gotta go change that. But-
Yeah, the album's gonna be called Brand New Vision.
So it's what is it into a million pieces? It's Personal into a million pieces?
Personal into a million pieces.
Okay, hold on.
This song, I just really like this song. It flows
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, if I had to rate the 5 singles, I'd probably put I'd put Into the Dark probably near the top, probably top 3 with Personal and Million Pieces, and then Heartbeat and can go at the bottom. I haven't really listened to that in Brand New Visions. Like
I haven't listened to Heartbeat since I discovered Point North at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, I need to give that another listen.
So having gone back and listened to the transition, it works, but it's nothing special in the same way that you've got like the embers glow into the color black.
Yeah.
Like it's
Right.
not that style of transition. There's a distinct period of end and start again. Like songs don't really flow into each other.
Right.
I think that's enough for Point North. Let's move on. Slaves have done it again
Oh, of
with
course.
their new single, Eye Opener.
Headset's over. Last night was an opener. I miss the time when
So this is the last single before the album that
And final.
the 7th and final.
Actually, it's not.
No, they're releasing Cursed, the music video, at the same time the album drops. So
Yeah.
technically
It
that's
did
not
premiere.
considered
It
a
did
single.
premiere on SSX on Octane earlier.
Well, yeah,
of course.
They also had the live show of all the album
That's true,
tracks
yeah. That's
yesterday. So
So we've had what now? 3 weeks with this track.
yeah,
I'm curious as to where it ranks in each of your personal opinions on
Top 3.
the Slave single.
Top 3.
It's,
top 3.
it's third.
Okay, good. So we're all in agreement. This is definitely top 3.
This song is
Um,
incredible.
It's so good.
Moment of appreciation for the fucking bass line.
Absolutely.
It's so
They let the
goddamn-
bassist go nuts in this, and
It's so goddamn juicy.
it's very reminiscent of Roses by Awaken I Am in that sense.
Yeah.
Both songs allow, and they're produced by, or this album was produced by the lead singer of Awaken I Am.
Correct.
So you got that connection there. But yeah, no, both songs allowed their bassist to just fuck around, and I'm more than happy with it. It provides such a interesting like layer of difference to this single that allows it to separate itself from the others. This is probably my second favorite single, if not my third, but I there is no way I can place this any less than third.
I can't put a ranking on my top 3. They're kind of intermittent change. But
Yeah.
if I had to go, like my top 3 would be Heavier, Talk to a Friend, and Eye Opener.
Like I thought this being in my top 3 was a hot take. I was like, what?
No.
No, this song is incredible. They've put out 7 singles, and
How?
none of the quality hasn't decreased at all.
How?
I just-
I'm gonna disagree on that one because Wasting My Youth has fallen off for me.
Okay.
But like that's
I think
it's still
Like
only
I
fallen
Think
off.
for me.
Wasting
Yeah,
My
like
Youth
I
has
do,
only
it's probably my
fallen
least
off.
favorite single.
Yeah, I'd
Wasting My
agree.
Youth has only fallen off to like a 7.5 out of 10.
And what blows my mind is that Matt joined the band, quote unquote, in January, right? Of what would that be, 2019?
2019, yeah.
This album has been done for a year.
Probably.
So, well, no, he confirmed it.
Oh, okay.
So, they got together, that tour probably finished February. So, in the span of 6 months, they got together with their completely new singer, and wrote a 13-track album that produced 7 incredible singles like
And
this.
7 is not going to be the end of it.
No.
We're going to get to that next month.
It blows my mind how well this band meshes together and how talented each and every one of these members are, and their ability to create such cohesive, wonderful music out of what could have been disaster for the band as a whole.
It's crazy how this band has released 7 singles, and 6 of them are all simultaneously at the same time top 3.
Yeah,
What's
ridiculous.
What sells me on this is not the fact that the album that's coming out tomorrow is probably going to be like in each of our like album of the year rankings at some stage or form.
Absolutely.
I'm curious how the band's going to transition when they get their new name. When they get the new name and like how their sound's going to evolve to make it different from what the Slaves' name is. That's what I'm more curious about because I want to see where it goes.
Well, I know that they were changing their name, but I don't know if they're changing their sound per se.
Right, but you really got to do like some sort of like kind of different elements to it. Maybe change up the instrumentals just a little bit. But you know, I'm saying that, but each of these have been kind of different enough instrumentally where you could really just do anything and be good.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like with Like I Do, right? The combination of the acoustic and electric guitar on that one, like that one sets it apart instrumentally. You've got Prayers, which has the electronically changed part for Matt's voice that like adds to the melody as opposed to Talk to a Friend, where it's more of like a backing sort of thing. I don't know. I'm so excited. We've got less than 5 hours till this album comes out.
Let's go! So good.
I'm
so
counting
good.
every minute. I'm so phenomenally excited for this.
And the rest of you listening, by the time this is on platforms, it's going to be out. Stop what you're doing, drop what you're doing, and get the hell over to Spotify or whatever streaming platform you use and listen to this damn album.
Please,
We'll be reviewing it in a few weeks, but do yourself a favor and listen to it now.
It's obviously like it's rock, but Matt's voice is just everything is so easily accessible that I feel like you kind of have to be deaf to not enjoy this. This has something for everybody, and I'm so excited. I can't wait.
All of us would die on that hill.
Yeah, I've shown so many different people Slaves, and they each have all different tastes. But just one particular song from each of the 7 I've shown has grown onto them.
Even even the stuff with Johnny Craig too. Like, I'd rather see a star explode. The Pact, especially Winter Everywhere, featuring Tillian.
Right.
That song is delicious. This band's entire discography is so good.
Yeah, it's Slaves and Dayseeker, where I feel like they've got enough variation with how their instrumentals like go and everything that their vocalists just do anything and still have a fucking banging track.
Yep.
Johnny Craig bands are 3-0 at this point for having a discography where they can change vocalists like as many times as they want, and I still enjoy every single album that has ever been put out, regardless of the vocalist. Like it's uncanny. Like I don't know how he manages to do it. Every time Johnny Craig joins a band, he ends up leaving it and finding somebody who fits somehow better to replace him, and creates this magnificent discography that honestly we should just throw Johnny into up and coming bands and then have him leave. I think that's the most like perfect formula for success for every up and coming band at this point.
Throw Johnny into Sultans.
Yeah, hey, that's not a bad idea. Somebody get on Twitter, tag him.
Throw Johnny Craig into Sweeping with Sirens? ?
Oh, absolutely, sure. That's 3 songs ahead, but go for it.
I don't know.
Why don't we talk about it next?
I think Killian's doing enough.
Well, let's go. We've said enough about Slaves. Sweeping with Sirens, they put out a new track called Talking to Myself.
Talking to myself.
Just watch the song go up in the playlist.
all of these next 5 songs we're talking about were released. All of these next 5 songs we're talking about were released on the same day, so really we can just talk about them in any order.
Yeah, so this felt like a B-side off the album, which was How It Feels to Be Lost, which was an okay album. I don't think it was their best by any means. I don't know. Kellen Quinn is one of those people that I feel like he absolutely murders every feature he ever has. If you get a song to feature Kellen Quinn, that song is instantly, like, automatically a 7 out of 10 at the very least.
Which
And then he gets to his own material, and I'm just not as into it.
Yeah, but before you get into his own material, which reminds me, Loveless, a band that Jake did not put on the fucking playlist because they released a track this month.
Oh,
You
shit.
should have told me to add it.
Yeah, but I'm blind. It's the problem.
It
Maybe grow
happens.
some eyes. Open your eyes.
Yo,
Open your eyes.
hey, Quill, you need to listen to Eye Opener like 5 times and then take another look at the playlist.
Yeah,
Right now
playlist
he's
is
listening-
dead to
right
me.
now
It's
he's
moved
listening to
so many
Blind
times. My brain.
Oh my god. The irony.
I hate
Oh,
it.
that's too
I
perfect.
hate it
That's too
so
perfect.
much.
I think all 4 of us were talking over this. So to make sense of
Yeah.
what just happened, Quill is complaining that I didn't put a song in the playlist.
Yes.
We then mentioned that he should listen to Eye Opener, which we were just previously talking about. But the irony is that he's listening to Blind Channel.
Yeah.
God, what a... Oh. Fuck's sake.
We hate ourselves here.
You know, I need to go get some water. I'm gonna stop this fucking Sleeping with Sirens bullshit. I'll be right back.
My opinion on this Sleeping with Sirens song, it's nothing special, but it's okay.
The only
know?
good part is the breakdown.
And even then, it's just okay.
My dog agrees.
I think your dog's opinion is validated here.
I don't have anything to add. Sleeping with Sirens is kind of one of the bands that exists for me. I can't really get into to put in my normal playlist.
I have a
They've
plan
fallen
to.
off.
I have a plan to go back and listen to a lot of their previous material. The only song I've listened to them previously is "Kick Me," which is off of one of their older albums. But I haven't listened to anything since, and I want to go back and catch up on that.
Well, see, the problem is I like Kellen Quinn more than I like Sleeping with Sirens.
And
So
that's not a bad problem to have because he's
Oh, yeah.
featured. He's been featuring on like a song every other week this year.
yeah, he was on Into the Dark,
Yep.
and he's gonna be on a Loveless single for August.
He
That
featured on a Hollywood Undead song earlier this year as well.
oh, that's right, I forgot about that. But yeah, and like he does features really well, but just his main band I cannot get into.
I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah,
Future Palace.
I think Derek's just already moved on from the podcast.
Future Palace have released their 5th single and announced an album for September. The single is Ghost Chapter. The album is not Ghost Chapter. I believe the album is it's called Escape, I'm pretty sure. It's coming out in September. But unfortunately this song was a little underwhelming for me. The standout piece of this song was definitely like the synthwave bit that they incorporated into the bridge. But otherwise this song was kind of just average for me, coming off of such a high in Parted Ways that I was expecting more. But either way, I'm very excited for the album, for their debut album at that. Considering this band has only put out 5 songs they're working on their debut, this band is doing great things. Just this song didn't really hit with me. And unfortunately it has hit with everyone else. Maybe not unfortunately, because this band deserves attention. But this song has gotten a lot more traction on Spotify than Parted Ways does, and that just feels criminal to me.
I don't have anything to add.
I wish Derek was here because I feel like he would have something to say, but he's seemingly gone.
Is he just dead, or is he
He was
like
going to get water.
muted?
He was going to get water, I'm pretty sure.
Is he talking to himself? I think we got a problem here.
I'll keep talking then. I think of the singles, this is, I don't know if I want to say it's my least favorite, but it kind of lacks the power that their other singles had. Anomaly, Parted Ways, maybe were all really good. Illusionist was pretty solid too, which featured the vocalist of Alaska, I'm pretty sure. This one didn't do anything super special for me, but it's still a solid song. I think the verses are solid. Just the chorus kind of didn't hit hard enough for me. And
He's back. Where are we at?
Future Paris.
Future
Untitled
Palace.
Chapter.
Oh fuck! Where are my notes on this?
I think
God.
this song just fell off at the chorus for me, unfortunately.
Yep. All right, that's what I had in my notes. We're on the same page.
Yeah, coming off of Parted Ways, which had such an incredible chorus, and then releasing this, just I had higher expectations, and I've said that twice now. But I don't know if there's anything else to add. I've talked about this for a couple minutes, Derek. If you have anything else you want
No, absolutely nothing.
I
Send it forward.
even though this song's not incredible, I'm still looking forward to the album that's coming out.
Yeah.
Because everything else they put out is good. So,
Yeah, I agree.
let's move on. Unleash the Archers put out a song entitled Soulbound. They released a song in June last month, but I wasn't aware that I was going to like this band as much as I do now, having heard Soulbound, so we didn't talk about it. But they released a song last month called Abyss. This band is like power metal, kinda.
Yeah.
And Abyss it's like nearly a 7-minute long song. It's hella long. But this band excels with guitar riffs. And they did it well in Abyss, and they have damn done it well in Soulbound as well.
Yeah, the instrumentation here is very, very good. I'm not a huge fan of power metal. I appreciate the instrumentation for what it is. This just isn't my style of metal. But for anybody who enjoys power metal, they'll very much like this song. And if nothing else, I'd spin it for the instrumentation alone.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear like an instrumental album on this because it's been the past two singles, the instrumentation wise, have been phenomenal.
The album's coming out next month, so
Okay.
I
Definitely
I
interested.
think second to Eye Opener, this is probably my most played song of the month.
Okay.
I have been nonstop playing this song. In particular, I don't know why, but there's one line where it says, "They have no flaws, they feel no pain," and that line in particular stood out to me. I don't know what "they" is, but the delivery on that line in particular just... I really like the song.
I thought when I first heard this song at the beginning of it, I thought it was an anime opening. and then as I got further in, it was like, this sounds like Amaranth. That's why it's here.
It kind of does have Amaranth vibes.
I had that on my notes too. I said sort of reminiscent of Amaranth in a way, but at the same time, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's close, but yeah.
Yeah, not really. For as much as I love this song, I don't think I have too much more to say, so I think we should move on to a new single from Chelsea Grin with
Ooh.
Leading Sun. I'll get my comment out of the way. This bitch heavy. Next.
Yeah. And it's heavy in the best possible way. The amount of variance in Tom Barber's vocal delivery here is amazing. I love it.
Oh, he
I
can
love
do
it.
live too.
Oh, good. Good. Now that makes me miss that Fit for a King tour even more. Fit for a King, Chelsea Grin, Crystal Lake, Alpha Wolf, right? Was the lineup? That's elite. Oh, God.
I just read my notes. I had one more thing I wanted to say about this song.
Okay, hit me with it.
There's parts of this song that sound like the unclean vocals from Ember Falls.
Okay. Yeah. I'd draw that comparison too.
With like the very fast, harsh vocals. That was like the only similarity I got. But otherwise, I really don't have much to say about it. I have never really cared for this band, and this song didn't get me.
Yeah, I wasn't super into Chelsea Grin until Jacob told me to revisit it, in which point I believe their last album was Eternal Nightmare, right?
Yes.
Yes, that album grew on me fast. And this is just, it's vocal prowess in a way that the fact that he's doing every single bit of the vocal delivery on here is
Also,
amazing.
the drummer
The drummer, yeah, too.
The drummer does the vocals too.
yeah, it's just the song is impressive. It hasn't gotten a lot of playtime out of me per se, but it's probably one of the more impressive, if not the most impressive song that we're going to talk about, just from a technical vocal standpoint. There's a breakdown within a breakdown.
Yeah,
I mean,
was going to say, they like bait you with the breakdown, and then it hits you like 10 seconds later.
Oh, it's so good. It's unabashedly heavy, and I'm very much a fan of it.
If that ain't the damn truth.
Mm.
Any other comments?
Not that come to mind.
On the complete opposite end of the spectrum,
Yeah.
we got Hillions with South on 65.
How on God's green earth did you find this band?
Motherfuckers wish they had our thing. 'Cause we got them Crocs on with the socks on, yeah. Taking rips till the sun comes up.
Okay,
Like-
so... You know that function on Twitter where it's like, X person you followed liked this tweet?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I discovered this, and that's how I discovered that this is a side project of
All right.
Maddie Mullins and Cody of Wage War.
Oh. Wait, what?
What?
It's what? Hold on. Yo, okay. This hick ass
Wait,
is Maddie Mullins and Cody from Wage War?
Yes.
It sure
What the
is.
fuck?
Go check the music video.
God, what in the world?
I love how
That's the only reason this song is on here, because this song is
wait.
completely different to anything else
I
we talk about normally.
Googled this just to make sure Jake wasn't talking shit like he normally does, and no, he's not wrong. And the first link that comes up is from Jesus Wired, so I think there's a mild problem.
Oh my good God. Fans also like Maddie Mullins, Rory Rodriguez's side project, Michael Bone's new band, Paloma, Light Up the Sky and Outline in Color. What the fuck? I would not have pulled that at all listening to this. I have to go back.
yeah, I gotta do it too. I'm actually like,
Both of those vocalists have very distinctive like voices, I feel like. So I
And
want to
you-
know how
you
the
just-
fuck
you
I
just
didn't
didn't-
notice.
You just didn't catch it, damn, okay.
No, I was like, this is like you put. What was my notes on this? I said it was the most interesting song that I'd heard from this playlist because I don't know how to feel about it because it's just country lyrics with like a rock delivery, and I listened to it and I didn't know like I said I still don't know how to feel, and now I absolutely don't know how to feel.
and like that. Oh my god!
Like what the fuck?
Oh.
Maddie Mullins and oh god.
I don't know if this is what you guys want to hear, but I have not been able to put this song down.
I don't
Oh
even.
my- What?
Okay.
That's
I-
surprising
this
and
song
also
is
not surprising at the same time.
Yeah, no. I get it because I think it definitely has that potential. This is one of those that I didn't know existed before I was listening to all the songs 40 minutes before we started. And so I didn't really have the time to spend proper time with it. But with the knowledge that you've just imparted to me in mind and a bit more time, I want to see how my opinion on this song changes.
This song is a joke. Like, you don't... like, you
God.
don't just say Crocs on with the socks on.
Oh, I think Maddie Mullins would.
Oh, yeah.
This song is, like, totally not serious at all. It's like... But it's just... This is, like, one of the ultimate summer vibe songs.
God. Don't get it twisted when you see them boys roll up. Yeah, we mean business. Don't need no jacked up trucks. Because we're blacked out, rolling like a funeral gang. You can catch us at the bar talking that hill slang. All them other folks wish they had our fang.
There's also a line that says mother folks instead of motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, they gotta
God.
be Christian.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's-
God. We got 10 on the rack and 6 in the pack. I'm going to kill myself. What? This is so... Okay. Yeah, I recognized some of this when I first listened to it, but looking at this now, it's... God.
Have I sold you guys on this song yet?
I feel like my third eye is now open, and I have to go listen to this song with a new perspective. I'm going to keep it up on Spotify, so remember to do that. That
Hurts
the
my
fuck?
brain.
What the fuck, dude?
All right.
God. Holy shit, man.
That actually hurts my brain.
Yeah, I just... Wow. Wow.
Let's move on.
Yeah,
I think I've
do
broken
that.
the hive mind with that one.
Yeah, I want to hear static at this point.
All right, The Score have released a new track entitled "All of Me" featuring Travis Barker.
Make it or break it, I face it until they disappear. It's taking all of me.
Justin, go on.
You first.
Me
Start with
first?
something nice. Start with something nice.
Okay, this song's incredible. I love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're.
Wow.
I was scared going into the song because the teaser did not have me. The teaser had my expectations lower than they've ever been for The Score.
Oh.
And then the song comes out, and the more I listen to it, the more it gets stuck in my head, and the more I just can't put it down.
Yeah, see, here's the problem. The teaser didn't have me, and this song still doesn't have me. I don't like it. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. And I'm going to be honest. It's either... I can't decide between this and Best Part from the recent that I don't like.
Damn. So outside of that one song with Black Bear that they had that kind of hooked me for a while and then
Yep.
fell off, yeah, I have never really gotten into The Score. They've always just been a very average band that I listen to everything they put out because I'm hoping that there will finally be that one song that tips me over the edge. This didn't do that for me, but I don't think it's a bad song. My biggest gripe with it was that we've got a Travis Barker feature, and the drumming is entirely like, I don't want to say unimpressive, but it doesn't add anything.
It's not very noticeable. It's like, you could have just released this as All of Me by The Score and not attach Travis Barker to it, and I wouldn't have questioned it.
Well, yeah, 'cause you've got Travis Barker recently added drums and guitar to what's that one song by Elenium and John Bellion? Tell me what you hate about. What is that song?
Good Things.
Good Things Fall Apart. Yeah, there we go. And released a drum and guitar like he added to it, and it's incredible. And so I've got that in my mind listening to this, and I'm like, this dude is supposed to be one of the best drummers that the music scene has to offer. And this is what he's doing in this song? Like you said, why have him in here? You know?
Here's
I don't know.
Here's the thing as well. As we're recording this, they teased on Instagram. I think they're putting out a live performance version of this tonight. And I'm really interested to see how it sounds live. Because that might be the turning point that may actually get me to like this. But, what I like for The Score is they're kind of more stadium rock, and this feels more alternative rock.
I
to me.
think their
I
stadium
don't really
rock
like
stuff is their best stuff, but this song still, it took my expectations and it put them on a much higher pedestal. And,
Don't get me wrong, not a bad song. I never said that at all. I just don't like it.
I'm trying to think, they've definitely made a song like this before, but I can't put my finger on the name of the song that sounds like this. Did that just make sense? Did I just speak words?
Yeah,
right?
I think maybe Tightrope.
Maybe?
I think Tightrope's probably the closest.
For whatever reason, Bulletproof is coming to mind, but not really.
I could see either one.
But I really like this song. The chorus has hooked me the more I listen to it. The lyrics aren't the most creative. They aren't gonna blow your socks off with incredible lyricism, but it works and they do it well. And there's a reason that The Score is one of my favorite bands, and this is just another one to the collection for me. Let's move on. Half Hearted have put out a new song called Better Without You. These guys did not take long to sleep on that last album.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It was reminiscent off of some of the material on the previous album, but something that I thought was that the vocals and instrumentals felt a little disjointed at times, and the vocal delivery felt, the best way I can put it would be like light and airy at some points that I don't think worked super well. Like, there are points where I feel like the instrumentation and the vocal delivery didn't quite match up in both delivery and mixing. So, something about this felt off. I don't know quite how to put it. But
this feels very much like a half-hearted song.
Yeah.
But it just didn't really stand out to me. I think it's got a nice structure to it where it's like a slow build, and then you get to the end of the song and the guitars are going, and it's pretty nice. But it just took too long for me to build up, and by the time it gets there, by the time you get 2 minutes into the song and you're actually at the good part, like, I'm wanting to listen to something else at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have too much more to add. Yeah. I feel like we kind of went over that in like a minute, and there's not much else to say.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll move on. Club Danger have released a new song called Wish You Well.
Let the poison flow. I wish you well. But when karma comes calling for you.
And so they released The Trouble last month, which is one of the best songs they've ever released, albeit they've only released like 6. But I was feeling pretty high on Club Danger after last month, and then they released this song, and I've, like, it's just, eh.
I also thought that until I hit the chorus, and the chorus sold me.
The chorus didn't sell me at all.
I think The Trouble is still better, but I like this.
More stadium rock type stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I was told not to listen to this.
Yeah. I figured we were going to be glossing over this one pretty quick, so...
Yeah. In my opinion...
we were on a time crunch, I was like, you can skip this one.
Yeah, this is better than the score. For this
okay,
month.
that's just wrong.
That's unfortunate, because that is the truth. But we'll agree to disagree on this one.
We'll agree to disagree. I don't have much more to say.
Nah.
Let's move on. Des Rox has released a new song called I Know. And, well, one of the few things I wrote down in my notes for this band is, I swear that they've released good music before, but this is not it.
I was also told not to listen to this.
I just didn't listen to it.
So, Des Rox has put out 2 EPs prior to the 2 singles this year. He released Wayne back in May, and that song was not very good. And this song is somehow even worse. It's like, I Cannot Fight the Fury? It's it's that again, but like worse. The chorus is I know.
Like Motionless in Light, Motionless in White. Shut up.
Yeah, but that one was actually
good. Yeah,
True.
This one just does not work for me. And I swear Des Rox has put out good music before. You can listen to his EP from last year. Give Me the Night, Slow, Dead Ringer, all really good songs, but these past 2 singles have not been it. And I'm ready to move on because I don't think there's anything else to say about this one.
Fuck, you guys doing that made me remind me of the fucking Fight the Fury track?
Yeah, why did you do that, Jake?
I'm sorry. But that's just me trying to, like...
I cannot.
I told you guys to avoid the song, and I had to, like, implant in your mind something to make you imagine what this song could be.
You could have just removed this from the podcast.
But I wanted to talk about it, because Des Rox does make good music at some point.
That's fair. Nah, I got nothing on this.
I don't have too much more to say. I swear Des Rox has made good music, and I hope we get to review a good song he puts out eventually, but today's not that day. moving on, Poppy has announced a deluxe version of her album and released a new track with it called Chaos X4.
Everyone around you is a casualty.
My notes are, it's a Poppy song.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
So this being a deluxe track makes sense. I didn't know that, but I had in my notes that I feel like this could have fit on. I disagree. I enjoy the instrumentation, but it's a similar comment to like my thoughts on all the things she said. That if I don't really vibe with Poppy all that much, and she repeats the same thing over and over again, I'm not going to vibe with it. And saying chaos 4 times a lot was just not my cup of tea. It kind of turned me off from the song, and I don't think it was bad, but I didn't enjoy it all that much.
Yeah, this one didn't stick with me too much either. Instrumentation is probably the standout of this song. But there's nothing. It's just another Poppy song. It's the weird Poppy shit that Poppy does.
Yeah.
I think like I'm glad this is on the deluxe album, because I think if this was on the regular version of I Disagree, it probably would lower my opinion on the album as a whole. So I'm glad this is on the deluxe, and by end of year, the original still has a chance of making my top 10. Because I don't particularly know if the deluxe is going to make the end of the year. I'd be more inclined at this point to just put the regular one back from January.
Yeah.
If 10 other albums don't come out.
What's with bands releasing deluxe versions so quickly?
Yeah.
Bad Omens did it. Yeah.
Who else has done it?
Bad Omens.
Fuck, I don't know. I'm sure there are some examples out there.
Yeah.
I know. So this is more of a quote unquote pop reference, I guess it would be, but like Little Uzi Vert put out his album, and it was like 12 tracks, and he dropped the deluxe one like 2 or 3 weeks later that added another like 13 tracks to the album. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
And the deluxe tracks, I hated the 12-track original album, and then all 13 of the deluxe tracks were incredible. So I'm sitting here listening to the first 13 songs of this. I'm like, oh shit, this album is better. And then I get to track 14, which is the start of the first album. And I'm like, oh, nope, there it goes again. You know, like I don't understand. I get the concept of releasing a deluxe album maybe the year after with 2 to 4 new songs, but releasing 2 to 4 new songs immediately after, or dropping an entire other album on top and calling it a deluxe, like that just doesn't make sense to me.
Speaking of deluxe, actually, I don't know how we forgot. Sweeping with Sirens, we were literally just talking about them.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Although that would make sense, because How It Feels to Be Lost has been out for I think over a year now. So
I don't think there's much more to say about this Poppy song. If you like Poppy, you're probably gonna like this song because it's more of the same.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Grandson has released another single called Riptide.
Slide. These bad habits, they die too slow. I've been caught up in the riptide for too long, 'cause it's all...
And I'm just gonna go out and say that based on the 2 singles so far, this Grandson album, presumably, I've heard rumors that it's releasing in November. If it does, I think it's potentially the only other album this year that could contest Slaves at the top.
Well, I don't know about that, buddy.
Oh, I definitely don't know about that.
I'm the biggest Grandson fan here, so like, you know. I don't think the song is as good as Identity, but it is still extremely catchy. It feels like a Grandson song, but it also feels like something completely new for Grandson.
Well, that's how Identity felt to me too. I didn't dislike this song by any means, which is the fact that I can say that I haven't actively disliked 2 Grandson releases back to back is a new record for me. But yeah, no, I still got Identity on constant rotation, and this has potential. I need to spend some more time with it, but my first opinion is that it's not quite as good, but
it's definitely not as good. Identity just hits different.
Yeah, if I had an album that sounded like this in Identity, I can't say I'd be upset with it.
This song, though, I think when I first heard this song, you get to the second chorus, you get to the bridge, and then it starts to build up.
Mhm.
It keeps building up, and then it keeps building up, and you think you're there, and then it keeps building up, and then it doesn't. And I don't know if I've ever been more disappointed in there not being a drop in a Grandson song, or just in a song in general, because you tease me for at least 30 seconds into a drop, and then it never comes.
It's like you're getting a really sad hand job, and then somebody cuts your dick off.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
Are you talking from experience?
Hey, look. All I'm saying is I lost some weight recently, and there was no exercise involved. So take from that what you will. Dear God, we just got demonetized. It's over. Oh God. Yeah, no, I like I said, I think that this is a good song. It just doesn't quite match up to Identity, but I'm very curious as to what the rest of the singles and this album will sound like. And if it's like this, then I can't complain.
Yeah. I think the last thing I want to mention, the opening verse of this song. I have it in my head. I don't even have it written down. It's just, I have done bad things, done them to good people. And I don't know, that's just like, you know you're in a Grandson song when you open with that lyric.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's just typical Grandson. You open with the hard shit right out of the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. I think I've said enough about Grandson. Discrepancies has put out another new track entitled Blame Me.
Well, mission accomplished. Offer you the blueprint. All you do is not get allergic to solutions, addicted to the conflict. Drop it. This is just something I can't rock, but I love you to death.
I want to hear what you guys think about this one.
This sounded like one of those montage rock songs.
Yeah. It was very interesting. We've got kind of the three like rap rock-esque songs back to back here.
That was intentional.
Intentional? Okay, good. I don't know. I think this is my least favorite of the three we're going to talk about.
Okay.
The breakdown felt a little generic to me. Like I'd heard it before, but it was still much appreciated. I think this was a good song. It just didn't cross over into great territory per se.
I think the vocals were a huge turn-off for me as well.
I can see that because my biggest gripe with this band is the guitarist's vocals in the chorus. They feel very monotone at times. But otherwise, I have been in love with this song. I have been playing this song like pretty much back to back. Whenever I play Riptide by Grandson, I'm playing this song immediately after.
Understandably.
I love this song. I don't want to say this is my favorite because they released Undertow earlier this year, but this song is flames. I love it. This song's like low-key got a juicy bass line as well. You probably don't notice it on first listen, but the more I listen to it, like the song's got kind of a juicy bass line.
I'll have to go re-listen to it with that in mind.
Yeah, we're gonna get into two more like rapcore kind of bands, and I think Discrepancies are doing a stellar job with it.
Yeah. No, very much agreed.
Like Discrepancies could be like a low-key honorable mention, potential top 10 album of the year. Yeah.
Have they put out any other singles that I'm not aware of?
This is the fourth one, I'm pretty sure.
Fourth one, okay.
They had Control earlier this year, which has grown on me with time. Undertow, which is my favorite. Light Up the Dark, which was last month and has fallen off. I wasn't in love with it anyway. And then Blame Me, which is their most recent one. I'm on the Discrepancies hype train.
Okay.
I'll let you know. Shall we move on?
Absolutely.
From Ashes to New have put out another new song, Scars That I'm Hiding, featuring In Flames.
This is for their new album coming up. I can't recall the name. I think it's called Panic.
Yep.
But I can't.
That's early September, right? Or late August?
It's August. It's August.
Oh, was it August? Fuck that.
It's August. If my memory serves me right, it's the score from Ashes to New and Noija all on the same night.
Oh, the 28th.
Oh,
that's
good.
right.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Yep.
So,
the song.
Yeah, the song.
It's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah, I'd say this is better than Panic.
Yeah, I think this is probably my least favorite so far. I'm gonna say, as far as singles go.
Well,
But
it's between this and Panic. No, What I Get. I think What I Get's also on there.
Yeah. I think I like What I Get a little bit more than this. This felt a little bland to me in some areas, but it's not a bad song by any means.
This feels very generic, and that's kind of how I feel about a lot of From Ashes to New songs.
Mm.
Although, I think it's interesting to point out that Panic is the only one of these 3 singles so far to feature their rap vocals.
Yeah.
Because What I Get didn't have them, and this one didn't have them.
I mean, that's kind of what makes them unique, so I'm a little curious as to what the decision was there.
Well, the thing is that the guy that does the rap vocals for this is, the kind of main creator of the band. And even their past album, The Future, didn't have a lot of rap vocals in it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the title track did.
Title track,
else.
title track, the ending track, and My Name were the 3 that kind of really stood out.
Because when I think of From Ashes to New, I think of the rap aspect to them. Maybe I just haven't listened to enough of
No, that's the main thing that I feel sets them apart as well. So
well, here's the problem with that though. They have 2 albums to their name. The first one has a completely different Cleans vocalist. The second one has this new guy, and I think I like their first album with they have 3 albums to their name. Sorry,
I haven't listened to the first one, so.
The first one's good. If you like the EP and an album, if you like the kind of rap vocals mixed in with kind of the heavier rock, I think you'll like their first album more than what these last 3 singles that they put out.
From Ashes to New, to me, they just feel very generic, and I'm waiting for that to change because they've got all the pieces to make something real good. But it just hasn't hit me yet.
Like we were saying, the rap vocals are part of what distinguishes them. So when they don't embrace that, they do. I agree. They sound more generic. I could get their non-rap sound anywhere else on serious Octane bands. I want that unique aspect of them I want them to embrace that and allow them to use it to blow me away. And instead, the single featured it, but I don't know. I was pretty indifferent about it. So I'm wondering where the direction of this is going to be as far as the rest of the album, what I'm going to hear and what I'm going to enjoy. It's all just up in the air at this point.
Yeah.
Another problem I have on this band to kind of tie it up. Their last album, they had 3 tracks that just weren't on it, but were released during the cycle. And that they really didn't hype them up or anything. They just released them. And 2 of those I think are better than half of the album. And What I Get, they didn't advertise that at all either. They just kind of put it out there, which makes me think that they are only going to be really kind of marketing the ones that they think are going to hit on Octane or on Sirius.
Panic has definitely done that, so...
Panic has surged because of it.
Yeah. I don't know if there's too much more to say about this.
I don't have much else.
Move on. Hollywood Undead have released a new song, Idol, featuring Tech 9.
So
This one was interesting.
Yeah, speaking of, how we mentioned earlier, or at least I did, that Kellen Quinn is one of those artists where you put him on a feature and he kills it, and then you get him on his own material and it's That's exactly how I feel about Tech 9. That I feel like everything he touches as a feature turns out amazingly. I loved his feature on this, and I can finally say I like a Hollywood Undead song. It took forever, but we're there. But the feature I feel like makes this song. The Tech 9 feature is amazing. I like the direction of this song. I think this was my favorite out of the 3 rap rock songs we've got going on here.
I wasn't a fan of this song originally, and then I listened to it a couple times throughout the week, and I'm like, this is not bad. I think if there's if there's any like rock band that we're going to talk about on the show that would have rap features, I feel like Hollywood Undead is probably like one of the first bands that would come to mind that would like fit with like Tech9 or I don't know who else is there. I'm not huge into the rap scene, but Hollywood Undead and like rap artist is kind of just like a perfect match, it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that I just had a fucking stroke and forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. Yo, proceed. Jeez, I got the start of that sentence out and it was just over. It left. The thought exited my head. No, go ahead.
Hollywood Undead recently, not a lot of good stuff.
Their album earlier this year wasn't terrible. There were some decent tracks.
I actually didn't hear that, so
there were some decent tracks. There was a Kellen Quinn feature on there that I particularly liked, and there was like one or two other tracks that were solid. Hollywood Undead, I don't know how to describe it. They're just like gangsta rock almost.
That is a way to put it.
Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. They're just like they're Hollywood Undead. And that's
their most recent album didn't click with me, but I like this a lot actually. I'm very happy with it.
Too.
All right, I think we're about good to move on. We're almost done with the singles, lads.
Oh, thank God.
Almost there.
Only, what are we?
2 more.
And almost 2 hours in? Fuck's sake.
All right, Adelaide Ways put out a new single prior to their album in 2 weeks called What You Want.
Have it all. I know what you want, what you want, what you want. I know what you want.
Spotify would physically not let me play this song, so I can't really give you my opinion on it.
This is an interesting song from Adelaide Way, because everything we've reviewed from them on this show so far has been their rock sound, but this is more like kind of electro pop kind of stuff from them, and this is probably one of my favorite songs of them in that style. I really liked this.
It's not terrible, but
Yeah,
I can't get into it.
I'm not gonna say this is like one of the best songs they've ever written.
No, still Hungry beats that way out apart.
It's good at best, but it's a nice easy listen. Like
Right.
I'm not mad at all with this one. They've put out much more disappointing material in the past.
Yeah, like the 3/4 of their last album.
Yeah, they had like so many good singles going into that last album, and then
They really did, and it just fell so flat.
This album's shaping up to be better than that one, though.
I
For the
hope
most
so.
part. But Adelaide Way are a super unpredictable band, so
Jake, do you expect the lead singer of the way they did the feature
Awake at Last?
Awake at Last, there you go. Do you think the lead singer of that will have a feature for this album?
I don't think so. I don't think Adelaide Way has really done features before, so I'd be surprised. I feel like This Means War, which we talked about last month, was probably more of a one-off.
It's actually on both of their Spotify's,
It
which
is,
is
and it's-
weird.
Yeah. I mean, they did split pretty even parts with each other. in that song.
I got nothing else to
That's
say,
what
but I got a
talked
doorbell
about.
to check, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't have too much more to say about this one either. So, shall we move on to the last song for today?
Sounds good to me.
1,000 Below have put out Let Go of Your Love.
Locked inside the prison you built, finding out you're going out to love someone else.
Sad boy hours.
Yeah, they are doing an acoustic reimagined EP, and Sad Boy Hours is a perfect way to describe it.
James DeBerg is so talented. I love him.
Mm-hmm.
That 1,000 Below album was so slept on. So good. This is good too.
Which one? The 2019 one or their debut?
Yeah. Well, both, I suppose, but the 2019 one is what came to mind.
The 2019 one hasn't stuck with me outside of like a handful.
Really?
Of songs. No. Like Fake Smile, Alone in Your Head, Chemical, and that's about it. And 171XO. So like maybe half the album, but
That album hasn't really stuck with me. No, except for half the album, you know. Yeah, no, I mean, there's not really much to say about this. I don't think, other than it's good. It's chill. It's good. The vocal delivery is awesome as per usual.
The lyrics
Reminded
are
me a lot
beautiful.
of that Crown the Empire single, to be honest.
The
But
lyrics are beautiful.
yeah, it's amazing.
Dog agrees.
So this
Yeah,
is,
I can hear him.
I believe they posted on their Twitter the track list for this reimagined EP, and I believe this is the only like new song. I believe the rest of them are reimagined versions of songs from their 2019 album. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, solid song, Thousand Below. About time that they did an acoustic reimagined EP.
Yeah.
Because they have been destined for it for a while. But I think that just about wraps it up. I believe last month, or May, we went over 2 hours talking about singles, and we've kept it under this week, so that's kind of cool.
5 minutes.
Progress.
Hold on. I need to redeem 500 channel points. Yo, Jacob, I've redeemed 500 channel points. Let's go!
For audio listeners,
Oh, I just got 2 sick tabs live on stream.
For you audio
I was just like
listeners,
I was glancing at my other fucking monitor, and it just popped up. It was like, "Hey, you can make me dab," and I'm like, "Ooh, tell me more."
for you audio listeners, there's a
Just
feature on
picture it in your head,
There's a
or
feature on
come
his Twitch
watch the
channel
VOD.
where you can
Jake will put a
do points.
screenshot in.
Yeah,
Well, I-
he'll put a screenshot into the Spotify link. What the fuck?
In the YouTube version. That means you have to go.
I was like, wait, what is this new technology? Hold on.
You gotta go to the YouTube link.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna timestamp it. It's like 1:55. There we go.
1:56:02. That's the time on my recording right now, but it's actually going to be a little later once I add all the music in.
Yeah. Well, the thing on his is 155. I'm so happy. I've never spent channel points before. you took my channel point virginity. I hope you're proud. I'm glad I could use it on such an honorable, noble thing.
What did I come back to?
You know,
You
Damn!
have 500 channel points?
yeah, you got 500 channel points, Justin.
You see,
Probably
I
not.
do. I do.
Oh, hit him with it. Hit him with it. Oh dear God! Before it gets too out of hand, how
Let's
about
go!
on to this outlining color EP?
It must be vertigo. Feels like I've spun out of control. Collapsing to the floor. I've never been so.
Yeah,
Imposter
imposter
syndrome.
syndrome. Let's go! Hell yeah!
So,
That said, despite my enthusiasm to move on to it, I wasn't too overtly impressed with it.
Yeah.
and on the other hand, I was surprisingly impressed with it.
I won't say that it was like bad or even like good. I think it was great, but I don't think it ever got sent over the edge for me into something that I will find myself revisiting very often. I think Punishment is far and away the most catchy and overall best song on here.
Absolutely.
The Kaylee Wolf feature is incredible.
Absolutely.
She owns her feature. It's an amazing part of the song. It adds so much to it.
Absolutely.
The rest of the album is, it's not, I wouldn't say that it's not memorable, but for me, it all kind of blended together in the sense that Punishment stood out as something that had multiple memorable moments for me, and I couldn't really tell you much about the other four. But that said, I think that this was overall a very good EP that could be considered great, but it needs a bit more variation in the songs to make it something that I would want to return to as a memorable experience from start to finish.
I think of the 2 new songs, so we talked about Alibi and Breaking the Silence on previous episodes.
Yeah.
2 new songs, Practice What You Preach and Vertigo. Vertigo pleasantly surprised me. In particular, I was a big fan of the chorus in that song. In general, I think Vertigo is one of the better songs I've heard from them. Punishment's still far and away the best song. Practice What You Preach was more the same for me, where it was just kind of underwhelming. This band definitely... I don't know. They have potential. and I'm gonna keep an eye on them, but I don't know if it's entirely for me.
If you guys, because I for one didn't quite like this EP as much as I like their self-titled that they released last year with their original Unclean vocalist.
I agree with that.
Yeah, their self-titled album was really good. I still play a bunch of those tracks just in my regular playlist, and like in particular from this, I still have Alibi, Punishment, and not on the AP because they're fucking criminals. Ghost of You is still on my playlist. But
that's right. That didn't make it, did it?
No.
Wild. It should have. That would have increased the quality of the CP.
It really would have. But nevertheless, in general, I'm my opinion is the same as Derek's. You know, it's good, but it needed more.
I think that just about sums it up for this. We got 2 albums to talk about. Let's get on to the first one. Bury Tomorrow have released their new album, Cannibal. And we almost didn't talk about this one, but we threw it in.
I didn't think anybody else listened to it, so I'm curious to hear what your guys' opinion of it was.
Over like the past year, I've shit on Bury Tomorrow.
I like where this is going.
I don't like their clean vocalist.
Okay.
But I enjoyed this album.
Let's go. Okay, good. Thank God I'm not alone. What about you, Jake? What are you thinking?
I didn't listen to it like fully through, but I listened to most of the songs individually, except for maybe like 1 or 2 of them. Instrumentally, this album is pretty damn solid. I'm not a huge fan of the vocals, but
that's fair.
There's a lot of like standout moments instrumentally. I think Choke is pretty sick.
Yeah.
I think, and especially like the last 3 songs in a row, Voice and Truth, Cold Sleep, and Dark Infinite that's an incredible way to end the album.
Absolutely.
Cold Sleep in particular is fantastic.
Justin, I'm assuming you didn't listen to this album?
No, and spoiler, I didn't listen to the other album.
The Broadside album either? Oh, man.
They both came out at a time where I was just busy as fuck.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like this month in general is just
fair.
I've not had a lot of time.
I had a lot of time in quarantine to listen to these albums.
Well, yeah, the quarantine's hit me different to where I've been able to find more work than when quarantine was active.
Oh, yeah, see, I didn't really have a choice because I got coronavirus. So,
the only work I've been able to do is selling shit on eBay.
Yeah. No, this album is currently, for me, tied for my second favorite metalcore album of the year with Currents. They both deal with some of the same topics. I had to look into the lyricism on this, and also a couple interviews with the lead singer, the clean vocalist, about his personal experiences with anxiety and depression and mental health issues, which at this point feels like something that's been done a million times, but I feel like especially on Imposter, which is probably my favorite song off this album, that he really brings that to the forefront and ultimately addressing how he hasn't felt like himself for a while. And the mosh call is cut off my head, which it hits different. I gotta say, listening to that, like, once I got that background and went and re-listened to this album, I enjoyed it a lot more, and it was the same sort of way with Currents for me.
I probably listen to Currents at some point because I'm still not. I'm not.
Never there. Fuck, what is the closer called? Somebody help me. Better Days. Yes, the opener and closer on that album are both amazing. But anyway, the cleans and uncleans from this band, I feel like are both in their own way hit or miss for a lot of people. I personally haven't been able to really get into anything that Bury Tomorrow has put out prior. Although I will say I've only ever heard Black Flame. Runes is in my list of albums to get to. But I wasn't super impressed with Black Flame when Cannibal, the single, first came out. I wasn't super impressed with it, but as time went on, it grew on me. And hearing singles in the context of the album that I hadn't enjoyed otherwise also gave this album a new life. It is a little bit formulaic. You do have kind of opening uncleans, clean pre-chorus, clean chorus, uncleans, clean chorus, breakdown, repeat for a lot of these songs. But the delivery is both very, I don't want to say monotone, but it's one-noted at times, but simultaneously varies between each song in a way that alongside the lyricism allows almost every song in here to pop in its own way alongside the instrumentation. Especially on Quake, when they slow things down before the big break into the uncleans. That has probably been the biggest grower of the album for me.
Quake is pretty solid. I think I was just not a fan of how long the fade out was on Quake, because it was extremely long.
Yeah, I can see it. I don't know. This is probably one of the biggest growers overall as an album for me this year. It'll be interesting to see how it measures up come time to talk about top 10 and how I feel about it in the next 4 months going forward. But overall, I was very, very pleased with this album, and out of what I've heard from them, this is their best work to date, I would say.
All right.
Also, the album artwork is cool.
Yes,
that is
very much so.
Incredible album art. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's sick.
It's sort of reminiscent of that one. What's that one painting? The Scream or whatever. You know, fucking painting I'm talking about. Hold on.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, why did that just remind me of the music video for Masochist by Polaris?
Hold on. Let me actually. I'm gonna pull these up in side by side
window.
tabs. Cannibal, Bury Tomorrow. Let me see here. Images. Oh. Nope. I'm just stupid. Well, it's kind of like that. I don't know. But either way, the artwork for this, regardless of what it looks like, is fucking sick. I mean, I love when metalcore albums do that painted aesthetic as opposed to a lot of like CGI sort of thing. Like the album art for Fit for an Autopsy comes to mind. That album art was also hand painted and looked phenomenal. So I'm a very big fan of any band that does that going forward. I will always be an advocate for it. I'm also an advocate for this album. It's by no means accessible, but I very much enjoyed it, and I can definitely see myself revisiting a bunch of these tracks as the year goes on and into next year.
All right. I think that's a pretty good summary on Cannibal by Bury Tomorrow. Let's move on to the last album we're going to be talking about. Broadside have released their album Into the Raging Sea.
Drive it slow. I said the night is yours, enjoy the glow. Baby, I don't mind sleeping all alone, but
So, was this your guys' first introduction to Broadside?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I love this band. I saw them live with Emarosa and then left before Set It Off.
Good choice.
Yep. and this was a top 10 most anticipated album of 2020 for me. I don't think that this is better than their previous album, Paradise. That said, I enjoyed this album a lot. This is probably my favorite pop punk album to come out this year.
Well, that might change in 4 hours, but for now,
yeah,
for now,
it's true.
for now,
Atlantic
for
is
now,
there. Yeah, for now.
I think we're still counting down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 3 hours, 28 minutes left. Let's fucking go. Wait, that's not how time works. 3 hours, 38 minutes. Hold on. Sorry, I forgot. Bro, am I the only one that mixes up time and sense? like 60 cents in a dollar, 100 minutes in an hour,
Yeah.
because I've definitely done that before.
I've mixed up my lefts and rights before, but that's
Yeah, I still hold up LR. I remember I was taking a fucking driving school, and the dude in the car, and they told me to take a right, and I fucking held up my hands. I was like,
Both your hands off the wheel.
yeah, unfortunately. Probably not my best choice, but, you know, it is what it is.
Let's talk about this album.
This album, it's got a shitload of Easter eggs in it. And I didn't realize it until Broadside Twitter, because that's a thing, evidently, that I found out when the album came out. Pointed it out, like, because The Raging Sea has been out as a single for the past, like, 3 weeks to a month.
I know where you're going.
Right, and he says 38 minutes of your time. Please just allow me to change your mind. 36 minutes, yeah. And the album is 36 minutes long.
I love that.
Which I can't believe I didn't even think that might be a parallel, hearing that song as many times as I did prior to the album's release. The album is very pop-punk-esque in its lyrical content, especially on the song, I believe it's Nights Alone, where it just talks about like going down to the lake with your girlfriend and chilling and partying and stuff like that. It's very lighthearted pop punk, what you're used to. And then you've also got the other side of the spectrum where it's, you know, I'm missing you, I'm depressed, I'm pretty much every sad emotion you can feel mixed with every happy emotion you can feel is somewhere thrown into this album. It's, again, quintessential pop punk, but it's got an edge to it, which I very much appreciate. Pop punk is usually very happy-go-lucky or very depressed with little in between. And this throws kind of a heavier edge into the spin on songs like The Raging Sea. And we saw that on
Believer as well.
Yes. And we saw that on the previous album too, on certain songs.
The end of the chorus in Foolish Believer is I Just Want to Be Remembered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then you go 2 songs later, you have Nights Alone, which, quick side point, the first, like the opening 4 songs of this album is an incredible streak.
Yes.
To go from The Raging Sea into Foolish, like, The Raging Sea is an incredible opener, but in particular, Foolish Believer into Over Dramatic into Nights Alone is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Heavenly to me felt like Foolish Believer 2.0, and then Clarity felt like Heavenly 2.0. But I very much enjoyed Foolish Believer, so I couldn't really complain about any of the songs on this album. I think The Raging Sea and Burning at Both Ends, the 2 bookends of this album, actually are my 2 favorites off of this. The piano on the closer, especially, I felt was a very good note to end the album on. Broadside has always kind of set themselves apart as being pop punk with an edge, and I think they delivered that same sort of thing here. As I mentioned before, again, I don't think it was quite as good as Paradise, their 2017 album. Some of those songs just hit a little bit closer for me and also feel a little more like that Broadside brand that they've established. But overall, I don't think this is too much of a detraction from it, and I very, very much love this album.
I'm not huge on the closer. I haven't listened to it since I listened to the album in full for the first time. I was actually going to say, now that I've heard you, I don't know if I should say this or not, but I wouldn't be mad if Burning at Both Ends just didn't exist and The Setting Sun ended up being the closer for this album.
Okay, so I thought about that the first time I listened to it. The Setting Sun could act as the closer. I would agree. Maybe
The Setting Sun is also my favorite track off of this album.
That's absolutely understandable.
I am in love with that song for so many reasons.
Mm-hmm. It's the top 3 for me. I wonder if we could have taken Burning at Both Ends and stuck it in the middle, sort of like an interlude to separate the album.
Yeah.
In the same way the All Time Low did with Pretty Venom.
Like, I feel like you probably maybe could have thrown it in between, like, Dancing on the Ceiling and Seasons.
Yeah, or even Clarity and Burning at Both Ends. There's something to appreciate about every track on this album, and that's something that I very much enjoy.
The only track that just never really stood out to me, it didn't stand out to me on my first listen, and it didn't stand out to me earlier today, was Clarity. That one just never...
Yeah.
But otherwise, everything else on this album is good.
I think my least favorite track is probably Breathe You In.
That was also at the low end of my list, but it's still more memorable than Clarity.
The song, everything except the chorus, is very good for me, but then the breathe you in over and over again, it kind of There's very few songs, and I mean, I've mentioned this before with like Poppy and stuff like that, but repetition for me lyrically only works in very certain scenarios. This one wasn't quite clicking with me, but again, it's still not a bad song by any means. I would be very much surprised if this didn't make it into my top 10 at the end of the year.
I'm not expecting it to make mine, but it's definitely a very easy recommend, and it's a very...
Oh, absolutely.
I think before we end off discussion on this, I just want to touch on the Setting Sun once more. There is so much going on in this song that makes it stand out to me. The very first verse, you have the drums that kind of fade into the background for the second line. I don't know if I'm describing it right, but the first line is like what you'd expect, and then it drops some of the instruments for the second one, and then it goes back, and that I loved that. And then the bridge into the end of the song, when it says I have a voice in my head or something like that, and then there's a drum beat where it's like ba-da, ba-ba-ba. That drum beat has been stuck in my head ever since I heard it, and it makes the song for me. Because they didn't need to put it there. They could have just said, and I have a voice in my head, and just let it fade a little bit before the next line. But that drum beat just adds so much for me.
No, absolutely. I was gonna ask. Oh, he's unmuted now. I was gonna ask Jacob, what did you think of this? With this being your first exposure to Broadside, what are your first thoughts?
So, I'm going to be honest here. The first time I listened to this, I was drunk.
Yep, sounds about right.
And,
Me too. Okay.
And I didn't re-listen to it like you did.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't remember much.
Sometimes that's how it be. Ironically, this is like an album to drink to because it's like a roller coaster of emotions in and of itself, and so is drinking. So, I can't really fault you for it. But no, I would recommend this to you as a re-listen and to everybody else who hasn't heard it as a first listen, because it's full of melody and catchy, relatable lyricism, and overall just a very, very good album.
I think that just about sums it up. Broadside into the raging sea. And we're done for today, fellas. That's the July
We kept
recap.
it under 230.
That's the
We
July
did it.
recap. Yeah.
I'm so proud of us.
Coming into this podcast, I was thinking, I already know how much of a shitstorm August is going to be if we don't get our shit together. So I was going into this thinking, we need to figure out how the hell we're going to condense all the singles into a reasonable amount of time. And we may not have done that, but I still feel like at times we didn't drag on for too long about songs that we didn't have much to say. And you know what? I'm proud of it.
I was fully expecting this to go to like 240, 245. So we cut it off like 15 to 30 minutes early. Let's go.
I feel like considering that this is a monthly recap, I think landing between 2 hours and 2.5 hours is like a perfect length.
Yeah, absolutely.
To cover a month's worth of music, like.
Looking at the durations for the last couple of episodes, we've definitely, been shortening the podcast until August when we make it a 3-4 hour podcast.
Yeah, I'm thinking August part 1, part 2. We might have to. We'll see how much comes out, but I don't.
'Cause we don't know how many singles are going to come out with a lot of albums.
Right.
Coming out.
I would almost rather, if it gets too long, cut it into one part. We'll cut the singles in half and the number of albums we talk about in half.
Yeah.
Well,
And we can release one at the first half of, what would it be, like September, and then release one. Alternatively, we get, depending on, I was going to say depending on how much gets released in the second half of August, we could record one after the first half of August here, like in the next, but that'd be next week, and I feel like that's almost too soon.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll be
brings up a
fine.
point. It has been a hell of a long time since the June recap.
yeah.
Oh,
Which brings up
God.
another point that we recorded the June recap before June ended because I was going to be on vacation for the week after. We didn't miss anything after we recorded it. There were no like late singles released in June that we didn't get a chance to talk about.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even thought about that.
I also
Good
want to
on
mention
us.
that August's podcast, we will officially done 6 podcasts.
Yeah. That is true.
Oh, that's true.
So that would have been half a year.
Oh, it doesn't feel that long.
It
It does not.
It doesn't.
I'm glad we got together to do this, though. This
It's
is
so
become one of my
stupid.
favorite things to do.
Yeah,
It's so stupid.
I mean, it is. It's just banter, but
And I hope the people that listen to this, all the very
Oh yeah, I
small
hope you
audience
guys enjoy.
the small audience
Yeah,
that we
no,
do
absolutely.
have, we appreciate you. Like this is a passion project for me, and I think for all of us as well. We all
Yeah,
really enjoy
absolutely.
talking about music and sharing our opinions and shitting on each other in the process.
And Solence. Shitting on Solence. in front of him. Solence is the honorary 5th member of this podcast.
So, I forgot to mention it at the beginning of this podcast because it's been so long since we did the June recap that I forgot how to be a host.
Okay.
Go follow our socials. Hivemind Radio on YouTube, Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram, at Hivemind Radio on Twitter, maybe.
I give it like 4 months.
It's gonna get taken.
Is that already taken? I gotta check.
Yeah. And then, please, this is the most important one. Go follow us on Spotify. If anyone
Yeah.
is still listening, follow us on Spotify. Yeah.
Yes.
And
It's just Hivemind Radio on Spotify, right?
Huh?
yeah,
It's just yo, fellas, I'm gonna be honest with you. Hivemind Radio is taken, and so is Hivemind Radio 1.
yeah.
How about Hivemind Radio _ on Twitter?
Yeah, just as a note as well, these are live streamed on Toby's Twitch, twitch.tv/TobyCon, double N. If you guys want to provide input, depending on how big this gets, we never know how this is going to look in about a year or so. We might, adjust some things, maybe add some, community input just to see how it goes or anything. So if you guys want to be a part of that,
Merch.
Yes.
merch.
Hivemind,
Oh, God.
Hivemind merch eventually.
Sometime.
Eventually.
Depending
If
on
it's anything like Spotify, we got no date.
Spotify, yeah.
Yeah.
We got time.
I think one of the last things I want to shout out, I'm going to be heading back to college in a couple weeks, which means that my weekly radio shows hopefully are going to be coming back.
Oh, that's right.
Nice.
So the Instagram is not going to go dry for 3 weeks like it did this summer. So yeah, WECSFM.com, Eastern Connecticut State University is where I do the radio shows. I might have to change the time and date that I've done them in the past, based on class schedules and stuff like that. This is all like assuming that I'm still going to be able to do it, but I should be able to because it's literally just me in a room. As long as like, everything is sanitary, then
Yeah.
I don't see the issue. Yeah,
I don't know, man. It really depends on if shit reopens, because how it's looking
Connecticut's
right now.
been handling it pretty well. Connecticut's been handling the virus pretty well, so I'm cautiously optimistic.
I'm really hope it goes well, but I'm not expecting anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we don't get deported from college 2 weeks in, the radio show is going to return next month.
Deported.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's how I'm going to put it. Sure.
I think, yeah, that's about it. Anything else you guys want to just talk about casually at the end here?
Not so. If you guys if people do end up listening to this and also have suggestions for what else we should listen to, because our tastes are, I would say, fairly open. We have a wide range of tastes here.
Yeah.
We're more than open to adding.
I brought South on 65 to this podcast. Friendly reminder.
We regret it ever since.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
But-
all I got.
Yeah, no, please do. I'll listen to anything, and these poor motherfuckers are gonna have to listen to me talk about the anything I'll listen to when the top 10 end of the year comes around. If my current top 10 is anything reflective of what it's gonna be like at the end of the year, you guys are gonna probably hate me by the time all is said and done.
See, I just really like December when you try and make up for crunch time for all the albums you
Oh
missed.
God, I've got it down below 22 hours right now, so I'm almost to July. The stuff that I missed in July.
Did you ever
So-
get to the album by Self Deception by chance?
Oh God,
Yes.
so good.
I left some notes on my document for that I can talk about when that inevitably makes your top 10, and it comes nowhere close for mine. Just
Yeah,
putting
that's-
that one out there.
That sounds fair.
All right.
It is one of the 2 albums out of 140 that have notes for it, if that tells you anything. So
fair.
hopefully you won't hate me too much when that comes around. But my current top 10's a shit show.
I think August's podcast is probably going to rival our top 10 podcast that we'll inevitably do at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. There's just so much coming out this month that it's going to be hard to not be excited about
Shut
it.
up.
Yeah, that too.
Brace
We
for
already
impact, fellas.
think about how much time we spend unnecessarily talking about the Slave singles, and then think about how bad it's going to be for the album.
Yeah.
Well, see, we've already hit on like half the album, so
That's
it's gonna be a
true.
little bit easier.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm so
Although, to
excited.
be fair, we never got a chance to talk about 3 of the singles in full because the podcast didn't exist when.
That's
yeah,
true.
but
All right, let's do our review of Heavier right now.
All right, yeah, guys, retro review right now. Heavier prayers. What's the fucking other one? Burial Eye. That's it.
Jake, please end this.
Yeah, get us out, Jake. It's gonna go on forever.
Yeah. All right.
Everybody's already left already.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the Hivemind July recap show. If you're still here, we appreciate you. I know we mentioned that like 5 minutes ago, but we do. Follow on Instagram, follow on YouTube, follow on Spotify. That's about it. We'll see you next month for the beautiful shitstorm that is the August recap. Thanks for listening.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.